When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, when the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. We're listening, watching from around the world and the Eastern Caribbean. Welcome to a special edition of the Make We Talk program with yours truly, Jeffrey T. This evening, we're going to have with us former Jamaican ambassador to the United Kingdom and she's also the former Minister of Tourism under the Portia Simpson-led administration, Ambassador Aloun Ndombet-Assamba. She'll be our special guest this evening. We're going to speak on various topics. And want to welcome everyone to come on the program here. Remember to like, share, and subscribe wherever you are listening, watching from around the world. We're also going to have our good friend Wilfred Radigan will be coming on with us this afternoon too. There is something I want to say to you. I was watching first and all, let us say that we have a clipping that we're going to play this evening about Marcus Garvey and what the outgoing president of the United States did. We're going to speak to Ambassador Aloun Ndombet-Assamba about that too. We're going to speak about dark tourism. And it begs to ask the question if this current administration led by Prime Minister Holness is having this country going into a different realm. Because the Minister of Tourism went and spoke about dark tourism in a well-known British news outlet. We're going to speak about that. We're also going to speak about, before we have Mr. Samba come on, Mr. Ambassador Aloun Ndombet-Assamba comes on, Ambassador. We're going to speak about the People's National Party has promised the Jamaican people that if they should gain state power, they will reduce electricity bills. They will reduce the rate of light in Jamaica. And we're going to listen to what opposition spokesperson in energy, Mr. Philip Paulwell, is saying about this. But before we go there, Jamaica is in an election fever. And other Jamaicans around Jamaica is saying that the time has come for them to change the government. And I agree with them. But on the other breath, we, the Jamaican people, must also bear in mind that there is a bill before the Parliament of Jamaica pertaining to the referendum of Jamaica becoming a republic. In that document is the same old scenario like in the present document that we have. Although we are getting rid of the king, Jamaica is still keeping the pomp and progeny of the old colonial masters. And when I say that, I mean, if you're getting rid of the king, why do you want to still keep the Custos Rotololium, who can represent the Governor General, now represent the president in the parish? Those are the things that is still maintained in the new dispensation. But also, there is nothing in the bill that is before the Parliament of Jamaica that the Jamaican people will be voting for the president. It's the same old ceremonial stupidness they want to throw down our throat. And we sit down and we accept it. It cannot be. We, the people, must stand up. We, the people, must speak out. We, the people, must demand a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. We, the people of this piece of rock we call Jamaica, must say to the Constitutional Affairs Committee that we will not, to the both political parties, that we will not stand by and allow you all to throw something down our throat. From 1962, the people of this country have been voting for the representative. Nowhere in our constitution and nowhere in our voting system says that we vote for the prime minister. Nowhere. The Jamaican people has never voted for a prime minister in its history since 1962. And if we are going to change our constitution because we want to go republic, I believe, and I'm pretty much sure I speak on the behalf of many Jamaicans, that we must, at this time in our life, this time in our history, we must vote for who we want. It cannot be they're going to push the ceremonial head, but we must accept what they give us. I think the word minister in Latin means servant of the people. The last time I checked, we, the Jamaican people, are the one who is paying them. For far too long, they have been making decisions that doesn't benefit the Jamaican people. Has never and will never benefit the Jamaican people. Because if they care about the Jamaican people, I'm pretty much sure that when they formulate this new constitution or this new bill before the parliament for the referendum, they should have listened to us. That we don't want any ceremonial head. We want to vote for who we want to vote for. Put up an individual to be president. Let us vote for that person. In this present moment that they have before the parliament, this prime minister can appoint his wife to become president, or he can have them appoint him to become president. Nobody vote for the person. So tell me, in this new so-called constitution that they want to amend and to put forward to the people of this country, show me in it where the people of this country have a say. Show me in it where the Jamaican people will be proud to have a say in the new constitution. And for many of us, we have never seen a copy of the Jamaican constitution, much as to read it. For many of us, we have never seen what they said in the constitution. And this present one that have before the parliament, they have one that we the people can't vote and will never vote for who we want to lead us. What they have before the parliament is something to push down our throat. Because if they're reforming our constitution, it means that this present prime minister can appoint his wife to be president or appoint himself to be president. Many of you may say, Jeffrey, you're going over the same thing over and over, but we have to do so. Because it cannot be, and it should not be, that every town hall meeting they have, we have been saying this on this program, we do not want a ceremonial head. We do not want a ceremonial president. We want a president that is elected by the people, for the people, and of the people. That's what we need in this country. And many of us sit down in this country and says nothing to the powers may be. Because a lot of people are saying we're afraid of this prime minister. What is there to be afraid of? We must tell him and tell the Minister of Constitution and Legal Affairs that we, the people of this country, do not and will not stand for a ceremonial president. We need somebody who we can elect in this time in this time in our history. We must have somebody who we can elect. We must have somebody who we can elect. A president of the people, for the people, and by the people. Why do we have to have a ceremonial head presiding over us? We're spending millions of dollars on. When will we have a prime minister or president who we say, yes, we vote for that person? When will we have that? And so, my fellow Jamaicans, as I start this program tonight, as I await the arrival of one of Jamaica's finest ambassadors of all time, Ambassador Aloun Ndombet-Assamba, to come on to speak to us, I say to you out there, I see in the paper where Tesha Miller and a group of them is suing the Jamaican government. And there's a group, a transport group in this country who only sit idly by and refuse to stand up for the God-given right. A transport sector, all they do is just willy-nilly around and chat. And if we have prisoners behind bars who has come together, I think about 18 of them have come together to sue the government of this country, to sue the correctional services, because where they are, it's inhumane. Where our prisoners are is inhumane. We must stand up. We, the people of this country, must stand up. Somewhere in the American Constitution it speaks about we the people. Where in our Jamaican Constitution it speaks about we the people. For some unknown reason, the Prime Minister and the Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs believe that what they say to us, that they're thinking for us, and what they put on paper is in the best interest of us, the people. When will we have a say? When will we, the people of this country, have a say? To say to them, let us be the one who decide Jamaica's and Jamaican destiny. When? You claim that you love us. You claim that we must say bye-bye to the king. Because according to you all, we have been under shackle for too long. But let me say something to this Prime Minister and to others of the people of the Vumvava and the Vumvavi. We may gain independence in 1962, but we the people are still under shackle. We the Jamaican people are still wearing the chain because you the people who we are paid to govern us have us under chain. You don't want us to have a say in the new dispensation of our Constitution. So I say to the people of this country, when the referendum comes for you to vote, not in the general election, vote in the general election, but when the referendum comes for you to vote, demand of them that until you put in that referendum, and until you put in that new bill before the parliament, impeachment, term limits, and that we the people must have a president or a prime minister elected by us the people. We must have a say. And for Jamaica to move forward in the 21st century, all of us, every single one of us, must stand up and have a say in this country. We must not be afraid. We, the people, must not be afraid. But we must stand up. And I say to the taxi men and women of our country, same way Tessa Miller, who is behind bars for whatever reason I don't know, nor do I care to know. 18 of them, I presume, I think, is taking the government of this country to court. Why is it that the men and women of the transport sector in our country, Jamaica, can't come together and file a lawsuit against this uncaring, corrupt government? This unconstitutional tickets that they keep on giving you all. But you sit down and you accept it. And all you do amongst yourself is bickering amongst yourselves. The time has come for the public transport sector, whether on a lead by a so-called president or a president for life, you all must come together and do exactly what Tessa Miller is doing. You all must come together and say no more. You all must come together and demand accountability. You all must come together and say to them, the fare increase must not be on the BS of a minister of transport. The fare increase must go back to the OUR. The fare increase must go back to the OUR, not in the BS of a prime minister or a minister of transportation. And same way, we the people must demand that we need to elect a president of the people, for the people, and by the people. You can't be formulating a constitution and it's whatever you all put in there goes. What about us, the people? We're the one who put Lady Marlene Malahou Fort there. We're the one who put the Prime Minister there. So why they can't listen to us? And why we the people? Why we the people don't have a voice to speak? Why we the people don't have a voice to tear down each other? But we don't have a voice to speak. Why we the people don't have a voice to get up and say no more? But yet we have a voice to go out and say free world boss. Or we have a voice to get up and go to election night or election day, shower this and shower that. Come this and come that. While this country is spiraling out of control, while this country, in which modern democracy can you see $3 trillion of taxpayers' money unaccountable for, and not one single one of us is get up and say anything about it. In which modern democracy can you have a prime minister of 28 bank account and still sit as prime minister of this country? Only in Jamaica. In which modern democracy can you have a minister of national insecurity presided over in 2024, 1,121 Jamaicans have been murdered, and he still sits as Minister of National Security? In which modern democracy can have a Minister of National Security since the year start in 2025? 34 Jamaicans has been murdered, and nothing has been said? In which modern democracy can you have $80 million of cocaine coming through our country, and you hear nothing from the Minister of National Insecurity, nor the Prime Minister of this country? In which modern democracy can these things happen? Jamaica is becoming a banana republic. Whether we like it, yes or no. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. Who dare me to say that to you? But I'm saying this to you tonight, as we await the arrival of one of Jamaica's finest ambassador of all time, to come on. Ambassador Aloun Ndombet-Assamba. As we wait on her to come on, I say to you tonight, my fellow Jamaicans, the soul of Jamaica's democracy relies on you, the Jamaican people. And for this country to move forward, the change that we seek in this country will never come from the People's National Party, the Jamaica Labour Party. Has to come from us as a people. We must demand the change and seek the change that we seek, that we need to move this country forward. We must have the change in our mind. We must go out and let the change happen in our country, but we can leave a country for children. That's the only way this country gonna move. All of us, every single one of us, have a say in this country. All of us have a say. All of us have a say in this country. Every single one of us have a say. But we must, at this time in our lives, at this time in our country, 46 murders, 10 persons shot dead, and you hear nothing from the Minister of National Insecurity. Jamaicans and Jamaica, no matter where in the world you are, you're still a Jamaican. So the time has come to hold that piece of rock in the Caribbean Sea in our hands and demand what we need. Demand the accountability. Demand the accountability. Demand the accountability. And so that is why I say to you, it doesn't matter who you are, where in Jamaica you're from. It doesn't matter if you're from the people of this Vumbavon, the Vumbavin, or over St. Andrew. Jamaica needs you. And those who live up Upper St. Andrew, they don't feel anything. It's the people who live below Crossroad feel everything. One moment for me, please. Yes, sir. Yeah, man, I sent the link, man. Hold on there. Hold on there for me. Where's WhatsApp? One moment, please. I'm trying to get Mr. Rattigan to come on here. Will Rattigan. Here it is. There's a link, my friend. I sent it to your WhatsApp. Okay. No, you're not an ambassador. Hold on for me. One moment for me, please. Let me take a quick break. I'm trying to get the ambassador to come on. I think she's pressing the wrong thing. One moment, please. Join me, yours truly, Jeffrey Tavares, on the Make We Talk Current Affair program this Monday, January 20th, 2025 at 6 p.m. My special guest will be former Jamaican ambassador to the United Kingdom, Ambassador Aloun Ndombet-Assamba. That's this Monday at 6 p.m. Join me, yours truly, Jeffrey Tavares, on the Make We Talk Current Affair program this Monday, January 20th, 2025 at 6 p.m. My special guest will be former Jamaican ambassador to the United Kingdom, Ambassador Aloun Ndombet-Assamba. That's this Monday at 6 p.m. Yes, we have with us Mr. Rattigan. Turn on your music for me, please, sir. We only seen a black thing. We're not seeing Ratty at all. We're still awaiting Ambassador Aloun Ndombet-Assamba to come on. Oh yes, here she is.
Yo, Patrick, program.
Here she is.
Yes, I was clicking on the wrong thing.
Yes, let me move this out of the way. You're here looking good, ambassador, as usual. Hold on. Let me get this out of the way. There she is. Mr. Rattigan, we're seeing a black night. Is it because somebody else, in Washington have a different thing where you're having a black night? Anyway, we have with us now. Let me mute somebody here. We have with us now. Yeah. Nope. Why am I getting a feedback? We have with us. Yes. I'm going to unmute you. When you're going to talk, Ambassador, I'll unmute you. We have with us, coming on with us right now, is former Jamaican ambassador to the United Kingdom, United Nations. Wow. To the United Kingdom, Ambassador Aloun Ndombet-Assamba. She is one of Jamaica's finest ambassador, who you can talk to when she was at the High Commissioner in London. She's also a former Minister of Tourism, a former Member of Parliament under the Portia Simpson administration. And without further ado, let us welcome Ambassador Assamba. Ambassador, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Jeffrey. You forgot to say I'm a former Minister of Industry and Tourism, Entertainment and Culture. And when I was a senator, in the last year of being a senator, I was Minister of State in the Ministry of Industry, Commerce and Technology. So I've had a wide-ranging set of portfolios. And I also was minister under former Prime Minister P.J. Patterson and former Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller. And when I was in London, I was High Commissioner, because Commonwealth countries, you're a High Commissioner, but I was ambassador to a number of European countries. Just to kind of set the record straight.
Yes, I thank you for that. Is it that you are ambassador for what? For 14 other countries?
No, not 14. Let me see if I can count them. Norway, Sweden, Finland, Denmark, Cyprus, and Ireland. 7. 7 other countries. In fact, today I went and did an MRI, and our honorary consul in Finland, his company is one of the companies that set up MRI machines, and in fact gave an MRI machine to UTEC many years ago. He's our honorary consul in Finland. So I should just say that our honorary consuls do a lot of work on behalf of Jamaica.
Indeed.
Yes.
Ambassador, I know you don't have enough time with us. Why am I getting this feedback? Anyway, I want you to tell the Jamaican people who do not know who Ambassador Assamba is. Tell us who you are. Tell us, because honestly, I read so many things about you. I remember some video with you talking about reparation.
Yes, I debated at the Oxford Union on the matter of reparations, and this was some time ago, before the issue of reparations became sexy. I have to say it that way. You know, when people jump on the bandwagon. But this was very early in the day, before many people began to speak about reparations. I debated with an Indian gentleman who's a member of parliament in India, and whose name I just can't remember right now. But he was also sorry?
I think his last name was Singh.
Could be. He was also a deputy secretary general for the United Nations, and then he went back to India, and we both spoke on the moot, Britain does owe reparations, and we won. Hands down, we won. So yes, I've been involved in this, but because I was Minister of Tourism, Entertainment and Culture being a very important part of that mix, I had done a lot of work on the culture side, on the issue of reparations, on the issue of our history, on the issue of the things that are important in making us the country that we are today. You know, we for example, went down to Old Harbor, and we had a reenactment of the Indians' arrival in Jamaica. We also did activities around those ships that brought Africans, enslaved Africans, to Jamaica and came into Kingston. So I had been involved in a number of things. As Minister of Culture, I had responsibility for the Institute of Jamaica, for the historical societies, for the museum, for the National Gallery, and those things. So I had a background that enabled me to speak very forcibly about why it is that Britain owes reparations to us. And as I said, it went across very, very well. And probably it's good that we started there, because I know that one of the things you wanted me to comment on is the Minister of Tourism speaking about dark tourism as a niche market.
Before you go there, Ambassador, hold a minute to me.
Yes.
Hold on, please. Before you go there, I want to play the video for viewers to set the context, for viewers to see what we're talking about. Because when I first saw the video, I sent it to my good friend Wilfred Radigan. And I went in a program with it also. And I said to myself, does our leaders know what this thing is going to do to this country? Are we going into an age wherein we're going to say to people, come down and go down to Maypen Cemetery. Or come down and go in a mother bad pan with some J's and Dettol and Fabulous and some white rum. And we can wash it off. You know, I'm asking myself the question. But let me, before I go any further, Ambassador, let us play this video here that I'm talking about. Because I want people to see what we're talking about, what the Minister of Tourism, Jamaica's world-class Minister of Tourism, Edmund Bartlett, is saying about dark tourism in our country. Here we go.
Arriving at the Terra Nova Hotel, I hear this light background music. It's in stark contrast to what I have come here to speak about. It's February 2024. So I've come to the Terra Nova Hotel to speak to Jamaica's Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett, who first spoke about this idea of dark tourism in Jamaica with the United Kingdom's Telegraph newspaper recently. He's wearing a dark brown suit, green polka dot tie with matching kerchief in his jacket and black suede shoes like the kind you see in cowboy movies. I start by asking why dark tourism.
Experiences are what drive people to destination. And the amazing part of the psychographic profile of the market is interest in historic sites and in war-torn destinations, and also in visiting cemeteries.
Dark tourism is tourism that involves traveling to places associated with death and suffering. Mr. Bartlett told The Telegraph that Jamaica is interested in dark tourism because it, quote, tells a story in stone and sticks and mortar. But local experts are uneasy.
Our Minister of Tourism really needs to understand fully the concept of dark tourism, because if he really understood what it meant, he probably would be reluctant to make a comment and embrace dark tourism.
Dr. Patricia Green is an architect and historic preservationist.
And if the funding to restore heritage sites in Jamaica, if that funding is going to come for dark tourism, we should reject it.
Reject it because, she says, dark tourism is associated with people interested in gory occult practices.
That's what dark tourism is about. They're looking for blood and death. Now, do we want that kind of invasion in Jamaica? And I would argue no.
It has been reported that reparation payments of around £500,000 is being sought to help fund the move. Historian and former director of the Center for Reparations Research at the University of the West Indies, Professor Vereen Shepherd, has been advocating for decades for heritage to be part of Jamaica's tourism product, but she's against promoting the island as a dark tourism destination.
I actually welcome the focus now on historical sites and integrating sites of terror, but also sites of triumph. Remember that our ancestors fought battles for freedom. And so I want to see those sites included too. Even though I don't like the term dark tourism, the initiative to showcase our historical sites as part of tourism is what I welcome.
But Ed Bartlett is defending the use of the phrase dark tourism.
I don't see that as being an issue at all. As a matter of fact, almost everything that you do for commercial purposes today has a bit of dark past in it.
I do agree with him, and I think people should come and look at it, but there's a difference with marketing it. Dark tourism is a specific category of visitor. And so when you begin to label our product, which is rich.
For the interest of time, I'm going to stop it there. I want to ask, let's welcome our good friend, Mr. Rattigan. You there with us, sir? Will? Okay.
How are you?
There he is. There he is. Just a moment. Just a moment for me. I want to welcome Mr. Wilfred Rattigan to the program. We're speaking to former Jamaican Ambassador, Ambassador Aloun Ndombet-Assamba. I know, I think I'm pronouncing Ambassador name wrong, you know. She told me the other day how to pronounce her name, and I still can't get it. Ratty, can you pronounce Ambassador's name?
Aloun Ndombet-Assamba.
No.
What?
Hold on there. Here she is. What she tell you?
Aloun Ndombet-Assamba.
Hi, I can speak now? Yes, you've unmuted me. My name is Aloun Ndombet-Assamba.
Okay.
But in speech, I just use Assamba, but when my name is written, all of it needs to be written out.
Okay.
Why
Ambassador,
am I not hearing you well?
you're not hearing us?
No.
You can't hear me, Jeffrey?
I can hear you, yeah. You don't hear me at all, Ambassador?
I'm hearing you, but it's really low. But it's okay. It's all right.
Okay, maybe I need to go a little louder to the mic.
Yes.
Okay, Ambassador, you watched that video a while ago. You're a former Minister of Tourism. And have you ever, in all your years in Jamaica and in politics, have you ever say that you want to have dark tourism in Jamaica?
Not at all. And in fact, I agree with both ladies who spoke. If we want to talk about heritage tourism, and if part of the heritage that we're talking about recognizes some aspects of what the minister said about people wanting to visit cemeteries and so on, then that is something that can be included. But I would really not want to see our country marketed as a destination for dark tourism. I want to see us marketed for heritage tourism. I want to see any money that is used to develop that product, that niche product, be used to develop heritage tourism. We've been saying this for a long time. And truthfully, let me say this to you. The reason why I conceptualized, draft the law, and had the law passed for the Tourism Enhancement Fund was to ensure that we had money to develop our heritage sites. Many years ago, when Portia Simpson Miller was the Minister of Tourism, she worked with the Commonwealth Secretariat to develop something called the Tourism Master Plan. And in that Tourism Master Plan was set out a recognition of our major tourism sites, but also was set out the niche that we can get ourselves in, which is to develop community-based tourism. When we develop community-based tourism, the persons in our community, that is sustainable tourism, persons in our community who share their history, who share their way of life, who share what is happening in their community, will cause the tourism dollars to stay in those communities and develop those communities. That is what the Tourism Master Plan was about. And that plan, it seems to me, has been thrown, as my mother would say, on the dung heap. And the things that were identified in a way that would give the kind of experience that our visitors want when they come to Jamaica. Sure, they come to Jamaica because they want the sun, sea, and sand experience, but that is not all that they want out of Jamaica. They want to know what it is that caused this little island to have such an effect on the rest of the world. They want to know and experience what it is why our people are so successful in so many areas. They want to hear our music. They want to go to our dances. They want to experience Jamaica. And we want to do that. And I heard the minister say that people travel for experience. That is true. But let us cause the experience to be positive experience. I think that focusing on dark tourism is a negative side. It's the occult. It's the kind of thing that I would not like to see our country known for. And so I feel very strongly about this. I would not support, and I hope that well-thinking people would not support that kind of tourism. There, I've come off my soapbox now.
I have with me my good friend Wilfred Rattigan. And I know he's going to come on in and ask some questions pertaining to this. Because that's the only thing we're going to speak. We're not going to speak about dark tourism for too long because I don't want, But when you hear the minister is saying that you can come to Jamaica and visit cemeteries. Now tell me something now. Where in the world I want to go visit the cemetery? Oh Lord, what happened here? We have lost our ambassador. Oh, here she is. I was wondering if we have lost the ambassador.
No, I'm back. And it's better now because I'm now hearing better.
Thank God. Very good. I was saying that where in the world do we want to, where I want to go to visit a cemetery, Maypen Cemetery. Come on down to Maypen Cemetery and visit. Where in the world I want to go spend my money to go to a cemetery? We have enough problem in this country. Go ahead, Ambassador. We have Mr. Rattigan come on in.
Well, one of the things is there are some tours, but it's because of a story. For example, if you go to Lourdes in France, which is one of the places where the Our Lady presented herself in Lourdes. If you go there, it's a religious experience. And one of the things that they do, and I have been to Lourdes, is that they take you to the cemetery where she was buried, Little Flower, Teresa. So it's not just to go to the cemetery. It's the whole experience of having the religious experience and learning about that experience where Our Lady, the Mother of Jesus, presented herself. So there are places, for example, in Louisiana, when you go, and it's not just to go to the cemetery, but part of that tour will take you to the cemetery where you learn why is it that those graves are built above ground and not deep in the ground as we are used to. And the reason, they explain to you, the reason for that is because the place floods. So it's not just a matter of going to visit a cemetery. It is the story behind why that particular cemetery. And it's not about the ghoulishness of going to the cemetery, if you understand what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of a larger picture, which is about the heritage of the location.
But Ambassador, who want to come to Jamaica to go visit Maypen Cemetery?
Not unless there was some particular reason why you would want to go to that cemetery. What is the story behind it? Is it just that you want to go and see death and destruction? Certainly, I don't think so. And we wouldn't want to encourage that.
Yes. Mr. Rattigan?
Yes, Ambassador, good night.
Yeah. Hi, Will.
Your mic is very low, Will. Is it on?
Yeah, ma'am, my mic. You can't hear me now?
It sounds very shallow. Go ahead now. Go ahead.
How about now?
Very, very shallow.
I'm hearing him better than I'm hearing you, Jeffrey.
Yeah?
You have a problem.
Yeah.
You have a problem, Jeffrey.
Go ahead, Ratty. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I'm hearing you.
Go ahead, man. I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
Okay. Now, what we're seeing in Jamaica is a demonstration of incompetence.
Speak a little louder, Ratty.
What we're seeing in Jamaica, what we're hearing regarding this dark tourism business is a demonstration of incompetence. It's a demonstration of when you run out of ideas and you don't know what to do, you just come up with all kinds of foolishness. Now, there is something called heritage tourism. You have cultural, because of the cultural experience, historical experience, all kinds of experience. And as Ambassador pointed out in Louisiana, there's an experience where they take you to the grave sites and they show you that because especially New Orleans is basically below sea level, and that's why they build the graves like that. So that's a historical and it's a social type of experience. The experience that the minister is talking about. What I would suggest to him, since he run out of ideas, is this. We have sent peacekeepers over to Haiti. Haiti is a prime place for this kind of tourism, if that's what they're looking for. Where they're looking for the ghoulishness, where they're looking for the macabre, where they look for science, as we say.
Abakaba.
Yeah, abakaba, right. So what I would suggest to them is just, look, you have the peacekeepers, they subcontract it out. Let them come to Jamaica and say, listen, we have a dark tourism thing, and we put them upon a boat and we escort them over there and we've shown them the sites and they can work something out with the Asian government. That is what they should do. Because here's what happened. If they really want to talk about death and history, we already have it. White Witch at the Rosal experience. I've been on that trip. And them go and them talk about what happened during slavery and all the woman there with her husband them and blah, 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 blah. Yes. By the way, can you imagine taking people down a bumper all there, down a Maypen, go over Maypen. The Maypen look like Riverton to some degree. No, actually, Riverton look better than Maypen right now.
It needs a serious cleaning up. And exactly. I also pass Sentence Bay Cemetery, and since you're on that, I want to say it is a disgrace.
There you go.
The cemeteries.
There you go.
But and that is where they want to have the dark tourism.
No, but here's something else. Here's something else why this dark tourism is not going to work. And they know it. They know it. Because there's an elephant in the room, in all of the rooms, them. And that elephant is crime. And crime is affecting community tourism. And that's why the bulk of the tourists them will come to Jamaica, then pick them up at the airport and take them where? Straight
to the all-inclusives.
All-inclusives. That's it. So there's no community tourism. And when you ask them, hey, how come we not free up the beaches so that people can have access to beaches? Them say, oh, because when them come, them are going to molest and harass the tourists. But yet you want to send them go down a bumper or down. I mean, that makes no sense.
But you know, sorry, Will. There is a lot of community tourism experiences that are taking place, you know. There is a lot of community tourism. I would like to suggest there's an article in the Gleaner today written by Burl Francis. I would like to ask your readers, your listeners, to read that article because Burl sets out deliberately the history of community-based tourism, talking about it from when Desmond Henry was the director of tourism. There are many communities in Jamaica where this is taking place. There is an organization in Jamaica that is focused on community-based tourism, the International Tourism Through Peace Initiative. If you read the article, you will see it. So the problem is that our current Ministry of Tourism does not encourage our visitors to step outside of the all-inclusives. Now, I'm not saying that I don't recognize that we do have a crime problem in Jamaica, but if you look at it, it doesn't affect the tourists unless they find themselves in relationships or in places where if they were going somewhere else in the world, because there's crime everywhere else, and tourism still is successful in those places. Let me tell you, the first time I saw anybody walking around with big gun on them side was Israel. And you don't want to see how many tourists go to Israel. So it's not about that. What it is for the ministry to provide the support to the community groups that are offering the experience that many of our visitors want. They want to see, and I'm going to say it again, what it is that makes up the Jamaican psyche, why we are influencers all over the world. And the way how they're going to see it is to get the opportunity to go out in the community, to help to make the bami, to go out in the community where they can choose their fish and watch it fry, and they get it with their festival. Why don't we see more tourists going out to Hellshire? It's quite safe out there. Why don't we see more tourists going out to that place in the border between Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth? It's quite safe there. But our ministry does not encourage our visitors outside of the sun, sea, and sand experience.
Hold on from me. Sorry, Master, go ahead, finish.
As you say, Will, this, to use a Jamaican expression, cottoning on to this ghoulish, dark, negative kind of tourism, what the minister is calling niche tourism, is not the way to go.
Well, you know, there's a lady in the chat, Diana McIntyre Pike.
Yes.
That I've followed her extensively, and she's done a lot in terms of community tourism. But she is not, let me repeat, she is not being supported by the government.
And I agree with you totally.
I was on a platform where she asked, where the Prime Minister started layouting vision for tourism on the South Coast. And they talk about 1,000 room hotels and things, and she was on it. And she asked him about community tourism. And he couldn't answer the question. He could not answer the question. And
because that is not where the focus is. That is not where the focus is. And I don't have any problem with getting more hotel rooms, you know. I want to get the tourists out of those locations. Let them go there and sleep in the night, but let them have the opportunity to go out into Jamaica and enjoy what the real Jamaica has to offer. When you think about it, look how many people came here to the last 2 major concerts we had over the Christmas season and the ones in the New Year. Look how many people came here. They want to come. I remember when I was Minister of Entertainment and Culture and Tourism, we had something, a project, working with the Jamaica Exporters Association and USAID to talk about where the music is made, touring how many hundreds of studios that exist in Jamaica, being able to see how the music is made, being able to meet the people who are making the music. That was stopped.
Ambassador,
yes,
you talk about the little keys of St. Elizabeth and so forth. There's an island off the coast of actually it's in Negril, between hedonism out there in the waters of Negril named Booby Key. I don't know if you know about it.
I know the name. I've never been there.
Although they sell it for 11th time, you know, because they have been selling that key and I'll get land title for it, though, you know. Anyway, Jeffrey, behave yourself tonight. It's the truth. It's a very nice area. You used to go, when I was a kid growing up, all of us used to go out there and have picnic and everything. You hardly see the Jamaica Tourist Board use it. You know, look, I can hardly go out there anyhow because, you know, some of these hotels may take it over and say it belongs to them or whatever. It don't belong to anybody. Anyway,
it belongs to Jamaica. It belongs to Jamaica.
Yes.
But you know, these are the things that we need to talk about. And I heard Will said that Diana McIntyre Pike is on the chat. Diana has done a lot of work. There is a whole organization that exists with various community tourism partners who get absolutely no support from the Ministry of Tourism. They get absolutely no support. In fact, I would go so far as to say they get a fight. There are 1 and 2 hoteliers who have partnered with them, but for the most part, the guests in most of the all-inclusives are not encouraged to go out of the gates, which is really, really a disservice to the Jamaican people, because people come to Jamaica. You know, we have a saying that says, we live where you vacation. People want to get our lived experience. People travel to get experience. People travel to feel good. And I cannot imagine that anybody is going to feel good over the dark tourism. If you are going to widen the scope, as I think I heard Patricia Greens and also Professor who spoke on that piece, talk about our heritage sites,
Yes.
talk about those things. If we're going to do that, then I would have no problem supporting the development of our heritage sites. But I do not want to see money that we get, like I heard the Commonwealth, some Commonwealth fund is going to give us money. I would hate to see that money going to developing what the minister is talking about, because that's not what we are about.
Mr. Rattigan, I'll let you finish your point. Go ahead, sir, before I come in.
No, I completely agree with Ambassador. The ambassador. You know, there's nothing wrong with, if you're going to use it as part of a storytelling. Say you're going to go to the gravesite and you're going to show it as part of a storytelling. Yeah. But when you say you're developing, because then it would be heritage tourism. But when you say developing dark tourism, like you're just catering for that, it's absolutely no sense. But you know what, Ambassador? This lady here in the chat, Diana McIntyre Pike, like I said, she's getting no support from the government. I just hope that when the opposition becomes government, that they will take her inside that ministry as an advisor and say, okay, explain to us what niche tourism, talk to us, because there are people, I'm sure there are spokespersons in the opposition who are you know, knowledgeable about this type of tourism, but they need somebody like this lady, because this lady has a lot to offer, and them just ignore the lady. But you know what? I am not surprised, because when you take a runner and put her as a number 2 person in charge of national security, and you take a medical doctor and you put him in charge of national security, and before that him was a waterman, he knew everything about water. No wonder when him got the service the other day and the pastor dropped down, him sit down there with the cross him tent, because he never know what to do. Him think like a waterman, like a security guy, everything but a doctor. This is exactly what happens when you have incompetence, or you know, people who are competent elsewhere, but they are improperly placed in an area where they have no knowledge, no desire, nothing whatsoever. So this dark tourism business here, I am vehemently opposed to it. If you want to visit a gravesite as part of a storytelling about our history, our heritage, no problem. But if you're going to develop a tour, if you're going to develop this now as part and parcel of tourism, to say, yeah, we have something called dark tourism, then I say to them, you can go to Haiti. No disrespect to Haiti, but Haiti have a rich history if that is what they're looking for. Them can go over there and we can subcontract it out, because we are subcontractors as far as security, so we can just do that as well. Just make them come in and we just vote them over and collect our money. That's it.
I want to I should just say this. I have been involved in the organization that Diana runs. I've been a trustee. I'm an advisor. So I am very, very gung-ho about the matter of community-based tourism. I wanted to share a personal experience with you. I think most people would know that my son died suddenly. My son operated a organic farm, and a sustainable organic farm, before he died. You would be amazed at how many people called us without Dominic expecting that this is a direction he's going in, called us and want to come and do a tour to see how an organic farm operates. Until he was pushed into operating these stores. Because people want that experience. Not just the visitors, but a lot of Jamaicans. And he wouldn't be the only one who was running such a tour in Jamaica. People want those experiences. I went away, for example, and I know that there is in some countries where they operate a rum bar tour. I don't know if you gentlemen drink rum.
Well,
but there's
sometimes I have a little drink of the drunk crew, you know, the distill, you know, ambassador.
But listen to me. Every community have 6 bars in walking distance.
Wow.
And every one of them that you go to have a different story to tell. Have different people who are there. You know how many people would love to do that? We have so many niches. If we're looking for niche, we can find the niche. We don't need to look at the ghoulishness or the macabre. That's my view. And
Yes.
I am yet, Jeffrey, to hear anybody support the minister in this particular position that he has put forward. I could be wrong, but I have yet to hear anybody supporting him in that.
I am not being rude by what I'm going to say. But I as what Mr. Rattigan said, he's run out of ideas. And I also think that Minister Bartlett brain, I think termite is not his brain, you know. Mr. Rattigan, I have a call coming.
Oh, yeah. You know, this idea of tourism, they want now to take, I see where they're, in a weird way, they're trying to take credit for the 2 concerts that you mentioned, Ambassador. Because those 2 concerts brought in a lot of foreign exchange. But truth be told, the Jamaican government had really nothing to do with it.
Exactly. Exactly. It was a private sector initiative. Yes. It is the private sector that has done all of those things. I'll go back to when we used to have the Jazz and Blues Festival. Yes, the tourist board was involved, but not in the planning of the festival. That was just an offshoot that it supported the marketing. But most of the entertainment events that take place in Jamaica, it's not the government. It's not. It is the private sector. I know, for example, some of those things that were just held at Plantation Cove, for example. Yes, the government, yes, the Prime Minister comes, yes, the Minister of Entertainment comes, but they have nothing to do with the planning of those events. Nothing to do with it. They appear, and there's nothing wrong with them appearing there. That is good to give support by their appearance, but they do not give any other support. All of those events that have been held have been private sector driven. And if the government comes in, they come in at the back end of it.
Well, I agree with you completely. So, the question is, if we don't have any more of these concerts, what's gonna happen? Because right now, go ahead, please.
No. You go ahead. Finish.
Right now they're worried because I tell you why they're worried. Pretty soon the travel advisory is going to come out, and if that says it's at a 3 now, and if it got to a 4, tourism will get a beaten, and there's reason to believe that it will remain at a 3 or go to a 4, but not drop down to a 2. Because when they still say, hey, if you're going through Clarendon, don't stop at all. Just drive on the highway and go. And they said for the last 2 travel advisors, them said, don't stop in Clarendon, just stay on the highway and just pass through. And if you can say that about, go ahead, please.
No, I was going to say you've hit on the issue of security. Two things, security and health.
Yeah.
Security and health are two things that the government will have to fix. If they don't fix that, you have to fix it for us Jamaicans and you have to fix it for our visitors. Security and health. Because we already see that, I think there was a story with a young man who got sick in a hotel, and what he had to do to get treatment and how much it cost. And that is not just for Jamaicans, that is for the visitors also.
Yes.
Security and health. Those are probably the two things that will cause us to move from a 3 to a 4. I hope it doesn't happen, because in spite of everything, we do need visitors to come to Jamaica. What we want to do is to have experiences that they understand we are more than a beach, we're a country. We want them to have those experiences. But for them to have the experience, we have to provide the level of safety and security that they need. We also have to provide the kind of health care, the kind of health assistance that they will also need.
Ambassador, as a former Minister of Tourism, you hear me clearly?
Yeah, man, I'm hearing you.
Okay. As a former Minister of Tourism, if you're advising this current Minister of Tourism pertaining to this, because we're not gonna dwell too much on this, because we have other issues. We have Marcus Garvey to speak about, and also
I want to speak up. I want to, before we speak about Marcus Garvey, I want to speak about, I heard you talking about constitutional reform. There's one particular issue I want to speak on that.
Okay, I'll let you do that. But before we go to that, if you're advising Minister Bartlett now as a former Minister of Tourism, how would you advise him pertaining to this?
She not advise him. She not going to advise him. No advise him. No advise him, ambassador. Let him make him struggle. Him say about the world class ambassador. Make them stand which part them there. Please, no tell them nothing. Let them feel it. Then make them there, make them sleep in night.
If the minister listens to your program, Jeffrey, then he will know. Then he will know how many of us feel about this particular thing.
Yes.
I don't need to advise him.
Yeah. Plus, we want to know about that is accommodation. We'll talk about that another time, Jeffrey. But Mr. Bartlett, if you're listening, we're doing the background, and pretty soon we'll come up with the information regarding that.
You mean that apartment about the Vumva Hotel?
Yes, because we're pulling records now to see how much money was paid. We have heard we're gonna verify it. We're gonna go back and figure out how much he make and how he afford that apartment. So that's where we are. Plus the word about the development. We're looking into all these things.
My Lord. Ambassador, let's go to
no, I don't bring me into that. Don't bring me there. Don't bring me there.
No, not bringing it. Let's go to constitutional reform.
Yeah.
Yes. Let me tell you, I want to say this. When I was a student at Cave Hill, and I am a lawyer now for 45 years. When I was a student at Cave Hill, we had something called the Constitutional Commission. And I remember that students who came home for holidays that summer worked in the Constitutional Reform Commission, going out into communities all over Jamaica to listen to Jamaicans and to hear what they wanted to see, how they wanted a constitution that was grown here in Jamaica and established by us, what they wanted it to look like. That was in the 70s. Then we had the period of the 80s where that again was thrown on the dung heap. And we've been talking about constitutional reform again in the 90s. However, we could never get anywhere with it because the current government fought every single attempt at moving the discussion forward. And we have to understand that we got our constitution that we now have from above. If we are going to have any constitutional reform that means anything to the Jamaican people, it has to come from below. It has to involve discussions with Jamaican communities. So far, I don't see that happening. But the particular thing I want to talk about is this: our final Court of Appeal. The PNP has set out its reasons why it thinks that the CCJ, the Caribbean Court of Justice, ought to be our final Court of Appeal and not the Privy Council. How can we remove the King as our head of state and still appeal to the King in his Privy Council to make a final decision on our laws? Up to now, the government has not put forward any reason as to why it is that they do not think that our final Court of Appeal ought to be the CCJ. And I know I heard Minister Malahoo Fort says that there's nothing wrong with removing the King and becoming a republic and still appeal, have the Privy Council's final Court of Appeal. And she has said that that is the situation in Trinidad. You know what I think is very funny? We quote other countries when we think it suits our purpose, but on other things that those other countries are doing, we pretend that we don't know about them. So my position is, we pay. This is important for us to know. We signed the treaty that established the Caribbean Court of Justice. We pay for the Caribbean Court of Justice. Jamaica pays. I don't have the figure in my head now, but every year we pay for the running of the Caribbean Court of Justice. And we do not feel that that court ought to be our final Court of Appeal. This is something I feel, yes.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying this is something I feel very strongly about. We cannot move away in this day and age from, and Trinidad became a republic many years ago. How many decades ago? So we're not talking about now. But now we cannot remove the King as our monarch and the head of our government and still appeal to the King to dispense justice on our matters. So the two things I want to say about the Constitution is, one, this is not to be a top-down activity. And two, we cannot remove the King and still have our final court as being the King's court. It is called the King in Council. The Privy Council is the King in Council.
So, Ambassador, okay. What I want to ask you, though, Ambassador, if we're saying bye-bye from the great King Charles, why are we using the same thing as custos and justice of the peace and all those things? According to a man, justice of the peace is. Anyway, Jeffrey, behave yourself. Why are we going to use the word custos same way?
Well, you see, I don't know, because the government has not said. We haven't yet removed the King, but they're talking about doing it in stages. How can you have constitutional reform in stages when you do not explicitly set out what the stages are, what you want to accomplish in stage one, what you want to accomplish in stage two? Or why is it that you're having it in stages in the first place? It's almost as if we will tell you when we tell you.
Because we're nothing to them. Mr. Rattigan?
Look, I have some serious reservations with the bill. I have some serious reservations with the report. And I think, again, this is what happened when incompetence is leading. You have the minister who, with all due respect, she doesn't understand the issues, or she's otherwise persuaded, but not common sense is not common at all. Because when they in their report to Parliament regarding all the issues, the CRC came up and they said that they would like to see consensus between the opposition and the leading party. Consensus concerning whether or not it should be placed before the people in the form of a referendum. Now, look, that is what you call a deeply entrenched provision. Now, in their statement, they said this reform is about deeply entrenched provisions. And we said, so why is this not on it? Why are you going to leave it? Why are you going to leave it and say, well, we're going to leave it for the parties involved to come to consensus? When here's the thing, the opposition party already tell them that, listen, there will be no consensus going forward without this being included. So I don't understand why now you say, well, we are waiting for consensus. There's so many things wrong with this, Jeffrey. You pointed out one of them. They said that, look, if the president, if they make allowances for the custodes or a custos to act where a president can't act and they need to replace him, or and you say, but wait a minute, I thought when you get rid of the king, you get rid of the governor general too. And that term custode or custos, that's part.
The correct word is custos rotulonium.
Custodies. It's custodies.
Yeah, custodies, plural. Yeah, custodies, plural. Yeah. So you say, why we even need them? It is a serious problem. And Madam Ambassador, I don't know if you watch a program on Saturday, but we went through it with Professor Rosalie Hamilton. We went through all of the issues, you know, and in fact, we didn't go through all the issues because she's coming back. We did a 2-hour plus. We had a 2-hour plus discussion on the issues. But this thing here is going nowhere fast, because if you look at how they're going to, they said, oh, we want this to, we want the president to be above and beyond reproach on politics and all of that, want him to be independent. And then when you look and say, okay, well, who's going to elect or select this president? And it's the prime minister. And then on top of that, them say, oh, guess what? We're going to increase the number of senators to 27, from 21 to 27. And we're going to give the president 3. He might have 3 where him select. And if the president and the prime minister are friend, anything he want, him going to get through, because when him add 3 to the 18 with him up, him get the 2/3. I mean, people, come on, man. And the must can't sit through this. And then the idea of them doing widespread education of the people, it's not happening. They claim that they did what? They did 5 town hall meetings or thereabout, and they did 2 in Cornwall and 2 in Middlesex, I think 6, and now 2 in Surrey. That's not enough. That's not enough.
You need community meetings. You need community meetings.
You know what, Ambassador? I said to them, I went on one of their platforms and I listened to the nonsense spewed out from all of them. And I said to them, listen, folks, since you say you're doing outreach, we have Jamaicans living overseas. And for all the reasons that we should be involved in at least participating in this, just come on the program and make a talk. And the person who's in charge of the outreach, Professor Nadine Spence, she said, look, I can't make it, but I'm going to ask the rest of the team if they would like to go. And nobody not come, nobody not call me, even though my details were presented, because they're not interested in facing the tough questions. They're not. And then when I listen, part of it too, you know, Ambassador, when I listen to the town hall meetings, you know, the questions are not properly framed. I don't know if them set people up for asks them because they make a ground ball questions. I don't know, but they're not properly framed.
You see, a town hall meeting to discuss any changes to the Constitution cannot be with a group of people speaking to the people. It has to be that the ordinary people have to have a chance to be involved in the discussion, and not just by asking questions, by making suggestions, which is not the direction that these town hall meetings are going. People have to have a chance to be able to say how they feel. And look here, don't bother think that people don't have no sense, you know. Them have sense. But we don't want to hear them.
Yes.
We don't want to hear them. So, well, Jeffrey, I need to go.
No, but I want you to touch. Yeah, I want you to touch on Marcus Garvey before you go.
Okay.
Yes. Before we do that, wherever you're listening, watching from around the world and the Eastern Caribbean, this is the Make We Talk program with Ambassador Aloun Ndombet-Assamba. We're also live on TikTok. I want to say good night to our TikTok viewers. Ambassador, I want you to listen.
Sir, it's Ambassador Aloun Ndombet-Assamba. Don't forget.
That's okay. If you say Ambassador Assamba, it's fine. I want to in relation. It's okay. If you say Ambassador Assamba, it's.
Go ahead, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, in relation to the activity yesterday, two things I want to say. Yes, it was a pardon. It is on its way to exoneration, but you have to start somewhere. And we have been working on this for a long time. Pardon is not saying you didn't commit the crime, but we need to move to the point where we recognize that the crime was not committed, and the whole arrest and trial and imprisonment was unlawful is probably the word I'm looking at. But we need to, a pardon is a start. It is not the end of the road. Mm-hmm. We have to move to getting full exoneration. You know, when you think about, and I want to commend all the persons who have spoken and sent out news releases on this matter. And if you look at the totality of all of these, then you will see the recognition that a pardon is a start. It is along the road. We've been working at this for a long time, but it does not stop there. We need to now press for full exoneration. Now, I am a realist, and I recognize that this will probably not happen with the current president of the United States. And so I think what President Joe Biden did before he gave up office was a good start. Not the end of the road, but a good start.
Ambassador, I want you to listen to what the president of the UNIA, Stephen Golden, is saying. Listen to this, please.
The pardon comes just over 100 years after Garvey was convicted for mail fraud in the U.S. Stephen Golding says this is not the first time Garvey has received a presidential pardon.
This, what I call cosmetic victory that we have gotten in the fact that Biden signed a pardon for Garvey. It's not the first pardon that Garvey has received. Jamaicans and the world often forget that Garvey sought and achieved his own pardon in 1927 when the United States President Calvin Coolidge issued his own executive order of clemency, pardoning Garvey and releasing him after 2 3/4 years of incarceration on a 5-year sentence, and it had one caveat in it: immediate deportation to Jamaica. And this is how Garvey was returned to Jamaica.
The UNIA president commented on the public misconception that Joe Biden's move means Garvey has been exonerated rather than pardoned. He explained the difference.
A pardon is worded as an executive order of clemency issued by the office of the United States President. It always ends with saying, we now issue a full, complete, or unconditional pardon for the subject for crimes committed against the United States. So that's the first thing. The difference between a pardon and exoneration: one is of forgiveness. The other one says, we erred in convicting you. The mistake was not on your part, it was on our part. And therefore, it is not us forgiving you, but us recognizing that we were wrong, and even in a way implying that we are asking you to forgive us.
He says an exoneration of the national hero could have financial implications for the authorities in the U.S. Golding says an exoneration is usually followed by civil suits, which usually raise the issue of reparations. Meanwhile, he believes the clearest path to exoneration for Garvey is through the U.S. Congress.
It will take an act of the U.S. Congress. We can't even go to the Supreme Court because going to the
financial
court means that you have to,
for the authorities
make
in
new
the
appeals, arguments would have to be made, and the time since the conviction is well over 100 years, that just would not be practical. So by an act of Congress, if the majority of representatives there affirm the fact that Garvey was set up, and we have the proof of that.
The UNIA president says the evidence should be placed before the U.S. Congress and have the matter put to a vote.
The fact that 9 members of the jury in 1923, after the conviction, wrote to the president asking for clemency for Marcus Garvey and even attesting to the fact that they had been coerced by Judge Julian Mack to come up with a guilty conviction. We have the evidence there. Put it before the U.S. Congress and have them take a vote affirming Garvey's innocent and by an act of the Congress exonerating him.
Khaleesi Wright for Nationwide News.
Ambassador.
Well, I yield to Stephen Golding's greater knowledge of this matter. I believe that he has a lot more information on this, but the point he makes about the appealing to the Congress to have the Congress make a decision. Congresswoman Yvette Clark was instrumental in writing to President Biden to get this act, this done before he left. So probably we need to speak to Congresswoman Clark and to see what guidance and directions we could get from her in approaching the U.S. Congress.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Rat, you got anything to say about this?
Yeah. The gentleman said that Marcus Garvey was pardoned in 1926.
Yes.
Absolutely incorrect. Because if he was pardoned in 1926, what's the purpose of the pardon yesterday? You don't get pardoned twice for the same thing. So that's nonsense. That's just rubbish, plain old rubbish. Now, the other thing he said,
hold on for me, Mr. Rattigan. We have Diana coming on, but hold on for me. You're saying to me that what Mr. Golding is saying is utter rubbish because there's no way can get pardoned twice for the same thing?
No, not everything he said is rubbish. The part about that Marcus Garvey was pardoned in 1926, that's rubbish. What happened is sentence was commuted. That's what happened. Him supposed to get a 5-year sentence. I think it was President Coolidge said, okay, no, we're going to release him early and just send him home. 2.5 and then send him home. That's what took place. He wasn't pardoned because if he was pardoned, why was he pardoned again yesterday? It makes no sense. That's nonsense. Mm-hmm. The other thing is this. You ask yourself this. The people who petitioned former President Biden to issue this declaration, what did they ask for? Did they ask for a pardon, right? Or did they ask exoneration? Which one did they ask for? That's critical, because if they ask for a pardon, then the problem is on them. They should have asked for exoneration. And if the
president doesn't have the right to exonerate. The president only has the right to pardon.
But here's the thing. If the president, and I'm going to do the research on that, but if they're saying that only the Congress can exonerate, right? Then the question is, why hasn't the Congress exonerated Marcus Garvey? And now with this present Congress, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, right? And therein lies the issue with him. Also, keep in mind of this, right? Another reason why I think it's very unlikely to happen, and the gentleman alluded to it. Whenever you exonerate somebody, you're basically saying, we made an error. you should not have been, or you were arrested, unlawfully, or the evidence was tainted, or whatever it is. But we did something wrong. You know what follows after that? Civil liability. They're going to sue. You think them are going to sit down there and say, okay, exonerate him and make him turn around now and make him gingeration, turn around now and sue. You think that got happen, Jeffrey? Ambassador, you think that got happen? That not gonna happen. That will never happen. When I must say, you make the American taxpayers now turn around now and pay Marcus Garvey gingeration to something that we know I said that we did wrong. They must say no. They must say no. He was found guilty and a pardon is enough. That's enough. It happened a long time ago. I could just forget about it and move on. So the idea of exoneration followed by civil liability, not happen.
Ambassador, I know you have to go. I know you have to. Is election here in Jamaica? Election fever in Jamaica. Call it, Andrew, call it. Your views on what's going to happen?
Well, the Prime Minister has until September to call it. And the way our constitution is set up, it is only the Prime Minister who can call it. So we can call for him to call it all we want. He will call it when he is good and ready. Now, all we have to do as opposition is to ensure that we are ready whatever time he calls it. So we have work to do in order to prepare ourselves, which is being done, mark you. The work is being done. The work is being done in divisions. The work is being done in constituencies to make sure that we are ready and that we will get the comrades and persons who support our party, whether they're comrades or not, persons who are dissatisfied with the way this government is operating. We need to get them to come out and vote whenever the Prime Minister calls it.
So,
and Jeffrey, I'm sorry, I have sat up for a long time.
I know. And you spoke to me about that. Ambassador Assamba,
thank you
so much for coming on.
Dana, you and I will talk. Sorry, I can't sit up anymore. We will talk. All right, okay. Thank you. Will, good night. And good night to your listeners. I appreciate your inviting me to come on the program.
You're welcome, Ambassador. Have a good night. Okay. And I'll talk to you.
Yeah, man. Bye-bye. Okay,
Ambassador Aloun Ndombet-Assamba there from former ambassador. Miss Diana, welcome to the program. Not hearing you at all. Not hearing you. You need, when you're coming on, you need to allow mic and camera. When you're coming on, you allow mic and camera. Not hearing you at all. You wanna go out and come back in? You can go back and come back in. Mr. Rattigan, based on what you heard, Ambassador just said a while ago with Stephen Golding, and Stephen Golding saying that X, Q, Y, Z and so forth. He went on to say that Marcus Garvey, because he committed mail fraud, isn't that so?
Yeah.
Miss Diana, if you can hear me, Miss D, go back out and come back in. Because I'm not hearing you at all. You go out and come back in. For you to get mic. What is the penalty for that, Mr. Rattigan?
For
mail fraud?
It depends. Depends on how many counts, and it depends what the statute is. I don't know what the statute. As I said, this happened over 100 years ago. I'm not the statute what the statute said at that time. It may have been amended since. I really don't know. But I know that he was sentenced to 5 years in prison, and he served, I don't know, 2.5, something like that, and then he was released. But he wasn't pardoned. He wasn't pardoned. He was because you see what happened is that clemency, what people need to understand is that clemency is the overarching term, right? Clemency, when it says, you see clemency from the president, that's an overarching term, and included in that is like early release, return of a fine, a pardon. A pardon is part of clemency. Early release is part of clemency. So what happened was that they granted clemency. They granted early release and make him go home. But it was not pardon, because think about it, Jeffrey. It's common sense. If he was pardoned back in 1926, why would they need a pardon now?
Right.
No, you
and you touched on a very important point. You said, what did the Jamaican government really ask for?
Yeah, what did they ask for? What did they ask for? Because they said that under the Constitution, the president can issue pardons and reprieves, but that's subject to a whole bunch of interpretation. I don't know what the law is in that area. If it means exoneration as well, I don't know. He's saying that, well, you have to go to the Congress and get it. I know the Congress has a lot of power, and I'm not disputing that the Congress could issue that. All I'm saying is that when he said that the man he got pardoned
in 1925,
not true. It's not true. He didn't get pardoned. Because why would it? Because you know what happened when they got to Biden and said, we want you to pardon him. Biden would have said, why do I need to pardon him? He was pardoned already in 1926. Why are you wasting my time with this? He wasn't pardoned. And then also remember, everybody kept asking for what? They kept asking for pardon.
Because I remember when former President Obama came to Jamaica, and he met with former Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller. On the sideline, I think, well, not in the sideline, in a meeting, Portia Simpson Miller put it to him.
Yeah. I mean, this should have happened a long time ago.
But not only Mr. Rattigan, when they were asking for America to pardon Marcus Garvey, Jamaica never pardoned Marcus Garvey for the crime he committed crime in Jamaica.
There you go. You know what they should do? What they should do. See, if I were part of this group asking for all of these things, I would have approached them and said, listen, here's the thing. Let's do the exoneration with the caveat that no civil liability. So you don't admit any wrongdoing or anything like that. You just pardon him, and then you have the caveat saying no can't sue with fee. That's what I would have done. I would have said that, because I'm telling you right now, they are not going to do it if that is on the table. They're not going to do it. Because, no. I mean, think about what the award would be like. Think about that award. So, they're not going to do it, man. Not going to do it. So, what they need to do is they need to have some sensible people sit down at the table and say, listen, here's the deal. We need the full exoneration, but we can actually put in there that, civil action is off the table, and then go from there. If they don't do that, or at least I would say to them, and there are ways they can do it. They can actually do it, and then, again, I'm not sure about the civil procedure. But what they could have, my mind is telling me that they could have even had it sanctioned by a court and said, take it before a judge and said, this is what we want to do. And then the judge said, okay, fine, no problem. No civil liability, but full exoneration. All right, fine, no problem. Because you can do that. You don't have to sue. So.
And when you hear all of this, Mr. Rattigan, Jamaicans are asking the question, though. Why did it take the Jamaican government so long? Have they been... I know for a fact that the Simpson administration has been working on this for many years. She came out of power. I don't know if anybody has taken it up, but after that, the Honest administration took it up. But the question, though, Mr. Rattigan, if the government is lobbying the American authorities, it took Jamaica nearly a year or 3 ago to take Marcus Garvey off some books that they have down here. He has committed some crime down here too.
Mm-hmm.
So, if it took Jamaica that long to do that, in the same time they're asking for pardon, that make any sense to you, sir?
No. No, it don't make any sense that you ask the American government to pardon him, and then unless they're saying we're waiting for them to pardon him first because they're saying that the crime was committed there. So if they pardon him first, then we can pardon him. But uh, as far as common sense is concerned, it just doesn't make any sense. And then somebody put in the chat that if they exonerate rock stars, if you exonerate Marcus Garvey, they have to exonerate everybody ever convicted of mail fraud or fraud. That's not true, Rockstar. It all depends on the evidence. What they're saying with the Marcus Garvey case is that it was manufactured evidence. That's what they're saying. Because if you have evidence that is good, sound, solid, acceptable, then people won't go to prison for mail fraud. But in Marcus Garvey's case, they're saying that it was a setup, that what they're accusing him of doing, he did not do. So that's not true. That them have to go, if them exonerate Marcus Garvey, them have to exonerate everybody. No, if them exonerate Marcus Garvey tomorrow, they're going to go start talking about some serious dollars. And that's why them don't want to do it. And that's why I'm saying, if the idea is, okay, you know what, let's just clear his name. Let's just let them have him, let them say, okay, look, we'll mess up. Then they need to have a discussion with the Department of Justice and others to say, look, give him the exoneration and we won't sue civilly. And we can agree to that. If that doesn't happen, I can tell you right now, I'll bet you every time I have that, there will not be a full exoneration, because the Congress is not going to sit back and have taxpayers' money pay for something that was done to Marcus Garvey over 100 years ago. They're not going to do it. Not this Congress. Not this one right now. Maybe some other one down the road, but not this one.
100 years from now.
Yeah, not this one. Not this one. And then we'll make it worse. You see, every time you ask for exoneration, right, they're going to look and say, but I mean, this thing happened so long and the man get a pardon. More than want and get a pardon. So that's going to be it.
So, Mr. Rattigan, your views, let's switch gear now. Did you hear what Jamaica's world-class Minister of Injustice, Delroy Chuck, said about the parliamentarians must not give, their wife must not give anything, say anything to the IG, Integrity Commission?
Yeah, the man, I don't know what's going on with him, but there's something, Jeffrey, that is not right with him. I wish I could tell you, but I want to show you something. I'll show you. Yeah. Let me, if I can share the screen with you.
Yeah, man, just share it, just press share and come to me, and it will come to me.
For those of you who didn't.
The bottom of the thing, the thing I'll allow you to share it. The arrow that goes up.
No, I have it. I'll send it to you. Yeah. We did this on Saturday, but because you asked a question, we'll raise it again. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what you call Hansard, HANSARD, proceedings. And what it is, it's a discussion. Whenever a bill comes up in Parliament, comes up for discussion, and they document the discussions. So if a parliamentarian say A, it's there. B, it's whoever speaks to the chair, whatever, it is documented. And so you can always go back and look like any law, you can go back and look to see what was said before it was passed. What was the discussion about? And you can see, or you can also see who argued for, who argued against, and how they voted. Now, this was in 2000. This was, they were arguing for the passage of a bill called the Corruption Prevention Act, which is similar to the Integrity Commission Act. In fact, the Corruption Prevention Act is the only bill, the only law in Jamaica that speaks to illicit enrichment, saying that a politician, civil servant, you can look to see whether their assets are disproportionate to their salary. And if that is the case, then there is a rebuttable presumption that something is not right. And then the person will then have to say, they will have to rebut the presumption and say, well, I won the lottery, Jeffrey give me some money, I find some money, my mother dead left, give me something. They have to explain how them come by this money, because once they look at your salary and they see that the salary doesn't add up to what you have, like you earn $1, but you live in $1 million house. Then the question is, okay, how did you go from $1 salary to $1 million house? And then you have to explain. So Minister Chuck came out recently and said that he's dead set against public servants, parliamentarians, the wives and the children, their assets being
made public to the
disclosed to the Integrity Commission. That's what he said, right? But I was telling people that back in 2000, this is what he said. And let me make it up now. If you look right here, and by the way, it's him speaking. And let me just go back. See, it is Mr. Chuck.
Right.
Right. And he's speaking and he's saying that he was concerned that the information was going to go to journalists and they were going to spread out kind of things about, his material possessions. So he said, because in truth, and it's right, because in truth, when I'm speaking, it's not that persons like myself or people here don't want to declare their assets publicly. But the truth of the matter is that whatever you own, if it is known, everybody in our society will speculate, will cast all sorts of things, not only how you get it, but why you're assisting this person and that person, as the case may be. So he's saying we don't want to tell people what we have, because people going to start ask all kind of questions, and then they're going to say, how come you don't give me your money? How come you give that brother their money and not give me your money? Blah, 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 blah. But there is another section that goes exactly to the question you asked me, Jeffrey. Hold on a second. There it is, right there. See, here it is. Right there. See where it says, Madam Speaker, I found when I had to declare everything I own, everything my wife and my children own, to be an invasion. And indeed, I wondered if I had to. Look at the next sentence. Because but eventually, because I'm a parliamentarian, I said I will follow the law, and I followed it. This was 2000. So why is he now telling people not to follow it?
I think Chairman did not his brain,
There it is right there, people. He said he wondered whether or not, his wife and children's assets should be declared to the Integrity Commission. But he said, at the end of the day, all right, I'm a parliamentarian. I'm going to follow the law, and I followed it. And that's it.
And in that same breath, Mr. Rattigan, listen to what Mr. Chuck said in a news article. Listen to what he said.
The call for my resignation is without merit. My statement in Parliament was totally misinterpreted. It was not clear as it should have been, and for that I apologize.
Now tell me something. What is not clear?
Yeah.
This man took the Jamaican before a bunch of idiots,
He must come out and give a fulsome explanation as to why it was not clear. He's supposed to come out and say, this is what I said, this is what I meant. He must come out and say it.
These people are something else. And when you sit down and you listen to this man, you ask yourself some serious questions. And yet he's Minister of Justice, and is he an attorney?
Yes. Yes, I think he's an attorney.
Yes, he is. He's an attorney.
In fact, I think he is a Rhodes Scholar.
What?
Yeah, I think I'll double check. I think Minister Chuck is a Rhodes Scholar.
If you're just joining us, we're here speaking about what is going on in our country, Jamaica. We had former ambassador on. We're speaking about what Minister Delroy Chuck. Now he's apologizing that he people misinterpreting, and he, you know, when he said that parliamentarians must not declare what they have and their family have. In other words, wife and children shouldn't declare anything. You beg to ask the question, these are the people who formulate laws in this country for the Jamaican people, and now they are saying that we mustn't do certain things. Mr. Rattigan, you're speaking about the Go ahead.
He was a Rhodes Scholar in 1973.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
I think there's something wrong with the good little gentleman.
Yeah.
Mr. Rattigan, I want you to go back to the Constitution for a bit, because something just came up to me a while ago. You were showing the Constitution wherein the bill I have before the Parliament now pertaining to the reform of the Constitution. When it comes on to the referendum, because this has to sit in the Parliament for how many days again, Mr. Rattigan? How many months?
Let me just go back to Delroy Truck was head boy at KC, and he had a honors degree in special mathematics. Maybe him should have been Minister of Finance.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a Rhodes Scholar in 1973, where he studied law.
Okay.
He was also a lecturer at UA, I believe. Yeah, law lecturer. How does it work? The bill, I think it was submitted in early December. It has to sit there for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
It has to sit there for 3 months. No discussion. So for the 3 months, it gives the parliamentarians a chance to each look at the bill and decide how they're going to discuss it. And then after 3 months, they will have a discussion, right? They will have a discussion, and after the discussion has ended, they will wait another 3 months before they vote. And when they vote, it's going to require 2/3 in the House and 2/3 in the Senate. But what they have to do is they have to submit it. After they've voted, they have to submit it. They can't submit it. They have to submit it between 2 and 7 months after they voted.
Mm-hmm.
So for 2 months, it just sits there. And then after 2 months, between 2 months and 7 months, they can submit it. Actually, it goes to the it would have to go to I think it have to go to the Governor General, and then it goes out to the public, and then they vote on it.
Oh. Okay. Mr. Rattigan, I want to show you something here. The People's National Party is in opposition now. And Jamaicans rather pay in the Caribbean the highest when it comes on to light. And I want you to listen to what opposition spokesperson on energy Philip Powell has to say. What they're going to do if they should win state power.
From US 40 cents per kilowatt hour to US 15 cents per kilowatt hour, that's the energy cut Energy Minister Philip Powell is promising if the PNP wins the upcoming polls. Mr. Powell was speaking at a town hall meeting in Central St. James.
And I am so convinced, I am so enthused. That's the reason why I can come here and put my ideas on the line and to say to anybody, come and challenge me. Because while you might have been wasting time in government, in opposition, I've spent a lot of time studying and looking at what is happening in the world and understanding why it is possible.
On the issue of electricity theft,
the JPSCO has over 600,000 customers, homes. You're not going to believe this, but 200,000 of those homes don't pay electricity.
The Jamaican government sold its majority holdings in the JPS in 2001. Mr. Paul believes that the level of theft has increased since the company was privatized.
When the government ran the company, I told you that it was sold in 2001. At that time, the amount of theft was less than it is today. And people thought, well, you're going to bring in private sector, you're going to make the thing more efficient. The level of theft is greater due to large measure because people have gotten poorer.
He says 3 years ago he tabled in Parliament a plan to eliminate electricity theft, but it was ignored. He, however, believes once the issue is solved, customers' bills will automatically be reduced, as many are paying for those who are stealing the light.
The government gets about $7 billion every year from this hedge tax that you pay. And that hedge tax is not used for anything to benefit you in terms of energy. We believe that that money should now be earmarked to solve the problem of electricity theft and to put up in these communities, poor communities, solar microgrids, utilize.
Your views on that, Mr. Rattigan?
I didn't hear the full explanation. His idea wasn't fully fleshed out. But if the idea is electricity theft is a cause of
high
poverty,
bills,
of poverty, it's a people poor, them can't afford it, then I don't understand how I'm going to solve that if people still poor.
And this has been happening for a long time in our country.
Yeah, I know he said that he's gonna put up what them call them grid. They're gonna put up grids.
Yes.
Right? Solar panels and grids and whatnot. Yeah, but we need to know more. We need to know more. It's true that you can use alternative energy to supplement whatever there is being provided by JPS. But again, also, when need for though? Them need for repeal the law. There's a law that says that only JPS can provide electricity in the country. You need to repeal that. Open it up for competition. Open it up for competition. And then we could see what happens. Because competition usually will drive prices down. But we don't have, what we have is a monopoly. We have just the JPS. So whatever JPS decide they want to along, the committee that exerts oversight. Once the board says we're going to do an increase, and the committee that exerts oversight, the government body that exerts oversight, then really never said no. So it's going to go up. So I need to know from Mr. Powell. I need to know more from him about it. Plus, he must show me facts and figures, because if you don't address the issue of poverty, then it won't work. Because here's the thing. Where you going to know? The poor people who are teeth the light, where do you give them solar panels? I don't understand how that will work. I don't understand that.
But Mr. Rattigan, many Jamaicans and many people, many well-thinking people will say, but the two political parties allow their garrison constituencies to throw up wire. And when police go in, if you go do so, you only hear stand down. So, go ahead.
Again, I don't know how that plan is going to work. And part of it is because I haven't heard the full explanation as to how the plan is going to work. And I don't want to assume anything. I would like the minister to come out and do an article. Or maybe I need to go back and listen to the thing in full to hear how it's going to work. Because he said it's not working largely because of poverty. And if you don't address poverty, then I don't know how you're going to fix it.
Well, I don't think the former Minister's Opposition spokesperson now had outlined how they're going to do it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Based on what I heard, I need more before I can say, well, yeah, it makes sense, or no, it doesn't make sense, or yeah, it makes sense, but here is an improvement upon what you just said. I don't know.
Well, a lot of people...
Sam says it's not wise for the PNP to give details or whatever. But Sam, here's the thing now. Here's the thing.
How am I going to vote?
Here's the thing, Sam, you have to be critical about this. There are ways that they can say certain things without giving the full idea away. But you can't just have people, because this is what's been going on for quite some time. We've been promised a lot of things over the years, particularly this government. This government, they make a cottage industry out of promising things. Because they know that we say, yeah, and we don't follow up to say, hey, wait a minute, hold on, you promised me this and you didn't deliver. And then they come back and then give you more promises on top of it. So that's why what we're saying now is that if you want to make a promise and tell us that you're going to improve our lives, then at least give us something that we can chew on. Give us something that we can say, okay, this makes sense. You know, and then also I wouldn't even be afraid of me mentioning it, because here's the thing. If me mention it and the government said they're not going to do it, that's even more reason not to vote for them. Because you say, look, you did it 9 years, and it's now we bring the idea now that you decide to what you want. And not only that, here's another thing too, Sam. Sam, yeah. Here's another thing. The election is right down the road, you know. So no matter what you say no, actually down the road, right around the corner.
Yes.
So no matter what you say no, them not have enough time to put it in a practice. Them just don't have enough time. So here's what I would do. If you were my advisor, Sam, if you were my advisor, and you tell me this, no, which is a good idea. I mean, I understand where you're coming from. You know what I would do? I probably, because I see where you're coming from, I probably wouldn't say anything right now. I would wait until, you know, I'll give it some time, because we don't know when they will call the election, but we know they will do it. It have to happen before September 3rd. So I would say at a point which part them can't do anything about it. Them can't copy it, them can't do nothing with it. It's too late for them to do something. So that's what I would do. So I guess that would, all right, Sam. Yeah. So I guess that would address the issue you raised about giving them your idea. I would say, all right, give them when it's too late. But you know, I really give them the Jamaican people, give, because you said to the Jamaican people, listen, here's what's going on, here's what we plan to do about it, and these are the reasons why you should vote for us. But it comes down to a matter of timing. So I see what you're saying, and if you were advising me, I'd say to you, Sam, you know what? It's a good idea. Make a plan on the timing of it. Let's not do it too far out for them copy it. But when you know, and then when you do it later on, it's hard for them to come out and say something, because then you can say, well, wait a minute, you've been around 9 years. You never thought about this, and you have all of the best and bright. And by the way, not only the best and brightest minds, but you know, give yourself the 200, 300 periods. Why? Because they say you want to attract the best, you want to attract and retain the best and brightest minds. And the best and brightest minds couldn't figure this out. So there you go.
Wow. For those who want to call in, the numbers are 954-529-8030. We're gonna because the numbers are gonna leave in the time soon. But the numbers to call into the program is 954-529-8030. That's the number right up there. 954-529. Okay, hold on. 9803. Turn off your TV in the background. Good night, Pastor Ricky. How you doing?
Blessing, Sir Jeffrey. I apologize. How you doing, sir? Good evening. Good night. Big up, Sir Rattigan. Good night. Good evening. Yes. I concur with what Sir Rattigan says. My comrade brother Philip Powell. The only way Jamaica can reduce electricity costs, the high cost that's burdening and killing the people, is to create is to break up the monopoly. I said this back in July, and it's on my TikTok page after burial, because many people had their light bill went up more than what they normally would have had. And it was because many people were, according to the government, according to what I heard, they were compensating those who weren't paid customer. So they were using the unpaid customers. They were using the paid customer to pay for the unpaid customers. Excuse me, let me get my stuff together. So, you know, bringing in another utility company into Jamaica, or even one or two more, and have one for Cornwall, one for Middlesex, one for Surrey, and create a competition will lower the cost. If you only have one gas station in your community, that gas station owner can charge whatever price he wants, even though them claims that OUR is regulating the utility costs.
But Pastor Ricky,
yes, sir.
Ricky, my good friend, Jamaica has been plagued with high light bill from ever since I know myself.
Right, from Wappy kill Philip. So, but it's time for a change.
And everybody comes on when this time of year comes. Everybody comes on and say, "Okay, we're going to do something, we're going to do that." And when they go into a total different thing.
Right. That's why I'm endorsing what Sir Rattigan said. They have to break up the monopoly and allow competition. That's the only way they will ever bring down the cost. Because even if them do something right now for say, bring down the cost, it's temporary. And it will go right back up after a few weeks. But if you want to keep the cost stable and low, so to lift the burden, you have to create competition and bring in other utility. The prime minister said in 2015 when he was running for prime minister the first time that he would bring in the big companies, and he lied. He deceived the people. He never did, because he recognized also the high cost of electricity costs. So I strongly believe, as Sir Rattigan mentioned, that you have to create a competition. They did the same thing with the telecommunications, back in PJ Patterson administration time, and create and break up the monopoly and create competition so everyone can now have better access to telecommunication and cell phone and don't be burdened with high costs. I just calling to say I'm endorsing what Sir Rattigan said.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you a question before we go, Sir Ricky.
Yes, sir.
Hold on for me. Ratty.
I'm on Jeffrey's program now. Tell him I'll call him later.
Ratty, mute your mic. My question to you though. Based on all that you're seeing going on in Jamaica, $3 trillion accountable for high electricity bill, $1 billion in one parish council gone. There's still no accountability for it. What do you think gonna happen if an administration should win state power? Do you think that they should do an investigation, and do you think that they are going to do an investigation?
Well, there will be another administration, and that's the People's National Party, without a doubt. And I strongly believe I follow Comrade Leader Mark Golan. He's a man of honesty, integrity. He honors the rule of law and the Constitution. Jamaica is broke. That $3 trillion that's stolen and all the money that's stolen throughout the government needs to come back and put into the economy to help the economy that is limping on life support right now. So I strongly believe Comrade Leader Mark Golan, and he said it on the campaign trail. If you listen to some of the presentations that he attended and make a speech, that they do plan to have forensic investigations in all of the 19 government agency, because they want to know what they have inherited, and the people needs to know what they have inherited. Because what's going to happen is, if you remember Mama P time, when she came in after Bruce Golan, the country was in bankruptcy. They had put us in debt, borrowing so much money. And it took her, they failed 14 IMF tests. And so Mama P got some money from the IMF, but not in her first year. It took her, I think it was in her second year or so, that she got the money that approved the loan. So by the time she got the loan from the IMF, things went bad with the economy. Blaming her for everything that was wrong, but it was the Bruce Golan administration that created all the problem. So what Comrade Leader Mark Golan, which I know is a man of wisdom, is going to avoid falling into that trap this time around, is to do a forensic audit. I think the sooner he do it, the better.
And you believe that they will end up doing a forensic audit to every single government ministers, and if there's people to be locked up, they're going to lock them up and send them to prison. You believe that too?
Well, that's his shot. I don't speak for him, but because I know if you look at his legislation, how he legislate when he was the justice minister, he's the one that passed the Integrity Commission. Well, he drafted, excuse me, the Integrity Commission Act, and so which lift Jamaica from 39 points on the corruption index of countries in the world to bring it up to 44. So he has a desire to see that Jamaica get back in right standing financially, our financial house is in order, fiscal responsibility. So I have no doubt that he's going to make all the right choices once he has the facts and the data and the investigation reports come back to him. He's going to make the right choices. And whoever need for go prison, me want them come out prison are foreign, because when them they are prisoner of Jamaica, them probably go serve na hard time, like because them are got have favors from people them knowing at the correctional system. But in America, them not gonna have them opportunity to serve a foreign them for go and come a prison. But that's up to his call. I think a lot of people would be very disappointed in current leader Mark Golan administration if they fail to lock them up, because $3 trillion, whole heap of money that Sir Jeffrey. You know how much school could be built? You know how much training centers? You know how much hospital supplies and equipment could be bought? You know how many roads could be fixed?
But
enough money that $3 trillion, whole heap of money that I don't know joke money that
You know something, my brother? You and
Yes,
Diane
sir.
Rattigan and everybody else is talking about this $3 trillion. When are we going to see our people in our country stand up and speak about the $3 trillion?
Well, Jamaican people get numb to corruption, violence, and crime. It's like them live with it so long.
Yes.
It's like them get so numb to it.
Right.
And it's a sad day. It's a sad day in Jamaica.
Thanks for calling, my friend. I have a next call coming in.
Yeah, man. Respect. Big up yourself, Sir Rattigan. Cool.
Good night. Welcome to the Make We Talk program. You're live.
Hi. Good night, Jeffrey. How are you?
I am doing good, East Kingston and Port Royal.
Jeffrey, me not have much to say now, but this $3 trillion and one party now that people must remember, it's between both parties. Me tired of them. Me not lie. Me tired of them. Mr. Rattigan, my boyfriend, what's going on? Love you both. Me not have nothing more to say. Jeffrey, me tired.
Hello.
Me
not understand you.
Jeffrey, you see, when this election
No. You hold on a minute there. You call it from hello, Mr. Rattigan, my boyfriend. Me not understand you.
You don't know your number one already. Where you going so far?
Anyway. My wife kill me. I have an extra coming in.
Same thing. Hold on, the man. You see this election that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Any party win. You see, poor people, they're going to suffer more. MOREEEEEEEEEE. You think you see poor people suffer yet? Wait till when the election call. Who will live shall see. Jeffrey, remember me tell you that. Poor people near must suffer more. More. We are suffer already, you know. In next election. Watch it. Love you both.
All right. Cool. Good night. Welcome to the Make We Talk program. You're live. How about this now? Let me see where the call coming in. Hold on there. Yeah, good night. Welcome to the Make We Talk program. You're live.
Good night, Mr. Tavares and Mr. Rattigan.
Good night, Sam.
I believe Mark Golan will do audit on all the government agencies that deal with collection of money and the development. The reason why the airport and Kingston Wharf are the two biggest revenue that Jamaica will collect in Jamaica.
So what do you think is going to know about those two things?
Those two revenue the Jamaican government have collect $400 million for one for 10 years. So whichever government coming in power, they would not get any revenue from Israeli airport for the next 10 years. So he has to do a audit to know where the $400 million, how they spend it, and where it go. Right?
And if he do an audit into that now, and he find out some hanky-panky go on, you think he not sending nobody go to prison?
He have to.
Oh.
He have to. Because that is what I'm promising. And he will show example by removing some member of his party that say anything that in line with corruption. And that is the reason why the JP don't want him coming power.
The who?
The JP government don't want to lose power. That is the reason why. Because they know this man is one example that to show.
You know, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something to you, Sir Sam. And I am not being. You see, until I see if the People's National Party should gain state power, until I, Jeffrey Tavares, see them win state power, and they do a forensic audit in all government ministries, and until I see somebody whose hand has been caught in the public kitty being bundled off and go to jail, then I will say, okay, that is going to happen under Mark Golding.
I can bet you, Mr. Jeffrey. Some permanent secretary, some financial secretary from the government agency, and some government MP going to prison. I can guarantee you that.
Oh, Lord.
You want the lady just tell you, say.
You're in his ministry already, man.
Well, you want the lady just tell you, say. Don't matter which party come in power, Jamaican people going to get poorer.
True.
It's a serious statement now. Jamaica have no money. Jamaica government have no money.
What do you mean they have no money?
Jamaica government have no money.
They have money, man. They have a couple million sitting down and there, no?
Where?
What do you mean where? You know the Prime Minister find a couple billion to the roads.
Well, you see a lot of money. We till February, March. You hear something, this is something that Jamaica economy. You wait till February, March. You wait till when and try to read the next. That election I'm going to call before the next budget. We can't tell you.
What election?
If they call the election this year?
Yes, so you're saying that the budget will be read before that?
The election going to call before the budget.
Oh, before the budget, okay.
Yeah. Because when that budget read, whichever government in power, it's not going to look good. And the one way people going to come out of it with a clean face is send some people to prison.
Well, all right.
How much money is government scandal? It's a lot of money is government scandal.
If we should check up the amount of money that have been squandered in this country from 1962 until now, I like me, for me, me more couldn't read the figure. Maybe Mr. Article couldn't read the figure, but not me.
But I couldn't tell you, say, what happened the last 9 years could triple time it passed between 1970 to 1990.
No, sir. The two of them is the two thieves too.
Yeah, but I'm saying the amount of money, no. It's triple those money that's squandered in 9 years.
Okay.
When you look on a house that take $21 billion, just refurbish it.
That's chicken feed, man. That's chicken shit. That's chicken feed.
No Jamaican government squander that. No. infrastructure. Not in the history of Jamaica.
All right, my friend. I want you to go back to class and listen to something here. I want to say before Mr. Rattigan, I want you to listen to something here. All right? Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, I want to go and listen to me because I tell him,
Mr.
Damon Crawford said two things. Mr. Rattigan. I want to tell him this. Damon Crawford made two statements in the Senate. And Jeffrey twist it around and forgive people for the water and for the light.
Right,
you remember that?
Yeah, man. All right, thanks much.
All right, yeah.
Good night, Cayman Islands. Welcome to the program. You're live.
Good night, Mr. Tavares.
Yes,
night,
sir.
Mr. Ratti. Thank you guys for the time you take out to emphasize and to elaborate and to help Jamaica come to the realization of what is really happening in their territory.
Yes.
But I've been listening to the program keenly and honestly about the electricity and with Mr. Paul will tend to suggest Mr. Ratti put it into context because it's election coming, so you can come with the same Andrew Holness style because the people fell for it for Andrew Holness, so now they may fell for it for you. But in doing a proposal like that, it make absolutely no sense if you don't give us an hint in how is it gonna manifest itself. And the condition that Jamaica is in now and his track record, he have to come with much, much more than what he's coming with now for it to be taken because his track record is opposite what he's saying now.
Yes.
And he used a term when he said that, they were there in Parliament and I was there studying what's going on. And it's so silly to say, to be frank. But nevertheless,
why is it silly? If they're in government and he's in opposition, he's studying the global energy sector.
To be frank with you, Mr. Tavares, there is nothing to be studied.
Why?
What they need to do is take action. Only thing that is needed in Jamaica now, they have studied so much. They overstudy now, so they pass the study line and gone. What they need to do is to take action. We need to start to see action in Jamaica. And because the funniest thing is that they have no regards for Jamaica people in spite of they may pretend like they do. Because I will use Patmore, for example. Patmore was not in politics, but guess what? Patmore will try to give the people them a little water. He will try to do things to help the individual. You know what made me really, bothered and disturbed by Jamaican politicians? They do not do anything for the people. Because you don't need to be able to be a governing body for you to shine for the people. That they don't do. And I always tell people that, guess what? From you see a politician in Jamaica all my days, I have not seen a politician create employment for Jamaica people, personally. And so where is the love or where is the care if you can personally employ 100 people or 24 people or 50 people? You don't have to be a ruling party to do that.
Yes.
I have done it in our community. So that's where it starts from. And the day they start to take action, then that is when Jamaica will move forward. But we are going back into the same bucket that we're coming after. I know nobody can be worse than anchovies, no matter how bad they be. Trust me. But I am saying that other than talking, take action, man. Start to give us some indication that you really care.
Do you think that they're gonna take action when the people of the country just sit down, sir?
You know, Jeffrey, I don't know regular you go to Jamaica, but I do.
Very regular.
And as I said,
me and Mr. Rattigan travel very regular.
In Jamaica, I'm talking. And,
yes, we
and
travel
not
very
just
regular.
Not just going to a parish in Jamaica.
Hold on,
but,
man.
But take it
hold on,
man.
Hold on, man. Me and Mr. Ratigan and one friend we have a name Big. We travel very regular.
Yeah.
very regular. We go on now, man, their songs. All Ian friends, we got touch down and come off of a private jet. Very regular.
Yeah. Yeah. So it hurt me when you're in Jamaica, it don't matter if you are stone hard. When you see the condition of the life of people, you want to cry. Like you want to take your clothes off and give to people. And the atmosphere
Hold on. You take off clothes over.
And give it to people because the atmosphere there is so dread.
Not them same one that go freedom party and that kind of party. You take off clothes give them for.
Yes, but you know what? And that's another thing, because what I realize is that they make the people hungry because they want to feed them to catch them.
Who they feed them to catch them?
And the Jamaican politician.
Oh, the same one who said you know give you $5,000 box food.
Yeah. Oh, and I heard Mr. Crawford said something today and from the meeting they had. And I am really trying to grasp if that's a reality, that somebody get $4 billion to help poor people. And other than use that $4 billion, guess what you do? You create a idea for yourself and say you have the $4 billion in savings. But you create an idea for yourself and say you are using money. So, I mean, how do that really make any sense? How does that make any sense? You get $4 billion, you take it and say, oh, I'm going to put it into a bucket to stay in there. But I'm going to create avenue for the people of Jamaica to get a house or to get an infrastructure or to get some help.
All right, my friend.
That doesn't make any sense. All right, Mr. Jeffrey, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your night and all the best.
Thank you for calling. Mr. Ratty, can listen to this before you go.
What is the dream for the election that I want to hear from you before me go?
Which election? Sister, me not the panic. I time for everything now. Me not the panic. When me get out of election?
Look like...
Sister, me not get no election. All you hear me the pan radio, the chat. Me never get none from them.
So you don't get any dream?
Me not in election. I God me the seek no because guess what? People this a drop dead, so me the repent and go to church back.
They repent? They me not think you did repent long time. Eh?
Me went take over politics and don't have time to say me to read my Bible every morning.
What a shame.
Me they try to find something to compare the counter. Some people they get rent pay. Me living on a piece of walk back and can't get water. Me go continue to chat about politics, sister. It's blood and teeth against you.
Lord.
Me can't get water. Whole Christmas upon me pay dinner. Big me when we are 200 and had for the bill upon. Me mad? And me to continue to chat about politics, sister. Nobody with it.
That means
time for everything.
Andrew hole in this corner dark then.
Me not nice, sister. Me not go for me not no politics story with you. Me done with politics right now. Me not talking about politics. Me just suffer lose and nobody not give me nothing at all.
It is finished.
And they chat for radio, they think so what? Me just suffer bad and nobody not help me.
Oh
Things
dear.
Right. People they go collect pay and me not get nothing at all. Not even $1 me not get. So me what?
But you working?
Me only but no working on.
What kind of work you do?
What's the status about with the right now, yeah? About with the right now. Me know that right now. Just people that come by ya, they get their house right there pay, so them people come every day contract. Not me. Me not get $1. Let me go close somewhere because church and politics don't work. Nobody in a politics needs to go on politics. Let me come outside. It pay me God they show me sign. Me not get none from me top. Let me go see God face.
What a way me go. All of the politics will be added on to you.
What is wrong with you, sister?
What a way me step in the ants nest, yeah.
Send them one package, come give me.
Eh?
Never send them nothing, come give me.
Mr. Rattigan. You heard the listen Emily Cook show?
Yeah, the lady said, big woman like me with a 200 pound of beard in her pan.
No, sir.
Yeah.
That's what, no. Is a driver jeep and signal the plane.
See, you're not good enough. You're not good. You're not good, man.
No. I don't want to see I never serious no that. You see it?
No, but you know what? The point that the lady make, and I think some other people make it. Not sure if Pastor Ricky did, but the point is this: that if there's and some people said not if, there is going to be a change of government. Some people say that based on the polls and all of that. But that being the case, the opposition party is going to have a long road ahead of them. And I hope that. Okay.
Good night, East Kingston and Port Royal.
Jeffrey, Mr. You see the tape we just play a while ago? That woman there. Our big labor right, Miss Lucy. No dear, no pass where she no call Ajar and talk. And Andrew could wrong here. All when they talk about Andrew 28 bank account. Miss Lucy that tear up everybody. And you hear Miss Lucy say? She not get tear. I got you go serve. So when you want to ask Miss Lucy, so all along when you da run back at them, you never did that serve God at that time, you should have served God.
You ever listen to her and say, and all the politicians be adding that to you.
Listen, Miss, I have one next one when you comrade. Jeffrey, if me not listen, RJ, you see when the two of them and them all, either she call first and then comrade call after, or comrade call first and then she after. But you see, otherwise, me not listen talk about RJ, but me just listen out for them two day. You have to just, you see when they come on the station and go talk, you have to say, no, sir. Miss Lucy, Andrew no wrong, not time at all for Miss Lucy. And me live here, Miss Lucy, of course, you know. Many more they fi come.
Till Emily Cooks.
Both side.
Till Emily Cooks said to her, I said, all politicians shall be added unto you.
You know, yeah, Miss Lucy saying can't even get water. Water.
But hold on. In another video, though, one thing that you can put out, the woman says she told you that something, but she can't.
Miss Lucy said she can't even get water. Water.
She should be in the pan.
When the people them are talk about under 20 bank account, after Andrew not this, Andrew not this, Andrew, my prime minister, Andrew, my prime minister. The thing is more easy. I hear Miss Lucy.
Hold on.
No, it's the next time. No, may I talk to you, man. Mr. The next time I'm talking about the water issue, ask them what happened to the desalination plants that they have in Jamaica. To turn salt water and potable water we can drink and be. Ask them about that because they put that in the manifesto.
The manifesto, yes.
Yeah, them say,
yes.
Yeah, man,
yes. So them are going to do it. That's what they do.
No,
but
them say them are doing it already. So nobody know nothing about the when you Moses Park. Nobody know nothing about the Moses Park desal plant. Nobody know about it in the manifesto.
It's the same. Nobody know about the bad pan where the Jamaica tourist board have where the Minister of Tourism say come on down. You know back to know half with some chase and letter and family just.
Look here. The thing about this, when people talk, plenty people hear, but they not listen.
Oh,
you understand? A lot of people hear, but they not listen. Because if they were listening down, I say, say them people take people for eat that, they man go come and brag and boast. You know to say everything the Prime Minister talk about, no other minister not talk about it. Crime in talk, health him talk, education him talk, and him just a talk about everything. What him have the MP them there for? What have other what he
Then
have the minister
if
there for?
East Kingston and Port Royal, then if him have all the ministries in a theme office, may I expect?
Thank you. I was just going to get to that point. I him want to talk. Nobody else can talk. Everybody is dumb. That seems so then he ask Portia say, and all this now and Portia say, when me have the minister them there for? I am working, go to the minister them.
Well, this
So he come right back.
Well, this is a premise, you know, him working every ministry.
Yeah. That's why he can have 28 bank account. Look at no man. Me tell you, Jeffrey, you know, say I am tired of the two party. Me tired of the two party. Me not lie.
No,
Me
but
tired of them.
a lot of Jamaicans will say that you know what, Jeffrey, don't go down the road. Do not go down that road, Jeffrey, because all Mr. Rattigan can hear in the video is 200 pounds and a bad pan should be you know.
No, we are none. Miss Lucy. I can't help you, Miss Lucy. I wear 140, so I can't hold in a bad pan. I can't wash up.
You just jumbo bad pan. And the jumbo and the lady have man. Is she Miss Lucy?
No. I half a jump.
And I mean, yeah.
Half a jump. Listen, me go and listen here. No, sir.
Hold on, a long time here from Mama P. Mama P.
Where Mama P there?
Hold on,
Mama P a hustle. Mama P a hustle out.
Me I mean, no, it look like Andrew give her Silicon Valley. She not call the program. Ratty when I say from Mama P.
Long time.
It look like Andrew built Silicon Valley gear, man.
No, on carpet road. On carpet road figure there.
On carpet.
Lord of his mercy. Me I go and listen, but a joke there. Jamaica festive never keep.
All right, darling. Cool. Mama P. A long time I don't hear from Mama P. Let me say make it up on the phone here. Because Mama P, it look like I must build Silicon Valley give Mama P, you know. Right, you only hear the woman and the bad pan.
You see, you love that thing. You know, come on, fight. You love that.
Lord of his mercy. The man said, Mr. Rattigan said travel very regular. Very regular. The number to call is 954-529-8030. Mr. Rattigan, we're looking for this now.
I'll find it. Something for Dr. Chang, the WikiLeaks thing.
Sure, tell him we could talk about that, you
know.
The country's in multiple crises. Listen good. In 2004, Robinson was named. You mean Shiny Robinson was named along with Dr. Harry Shang? Involving with money laundering and organized crime. Whoa. So how can we have a minister of national? Good night, caller. Welcome to our program. You're live.
Yes, Jeffrey. Good night, sir. How are you doing?
Good night, New York.
Yes, Jeffrey. I do hear a comment on the commissioner's latest declaration about how much money he has been paying to his members to
him be successful. Money.
Yeah, it sounds so ridiculous, Jeffrey.
I heard him, but I ignored it. You know, I tell you something, you know, sir. I want you when you finish the program here, you see, to type in 3 Stooges. And I want you to watch the 3 Stooges. Curly, Larry, and Mo. The Prime Minister is Curly. The Minister of Insecurity is Larry. And Mo is the Commissioner of Police. Curly, Larry, and Mo.
Jeffrey, isn't it alarming to see the amount, the increase in extrajudicial killing taking place?
My brother?
Is that proper policing to just hear about a name and then you go for the name and you just execute the name just like that? You are implored to use body cameras when you're going on premeditated operations, and you some way conveniently allow those body cameras to not working.
I want you to do something for me, see? Call me back over, Mr. Ratty, and give this presentation here. All right?
Okay.
Call me
All
back.
right, cool.
Ratty, go ahead.
No, I'm trying to download this and send this off. But it's not. I don't know what
I'll call someone involved though.
Yeah, no function.
You can't download it from when I have this when I show it in a Ratty.
Yeah, but hold on there.
Because you show it to me, you can't go download it.
No, I'm not trying to download it. Otherwise, before that, I couldn't download.
Okay.
It won't download.
Make I go back and play this thing again.
What is the dream for the election that I want to hear from you before me go?
Which election? Sister, me not the panic. I time for everything now. Me not the panic. When me get out of election.
Look like.
Sister, me not get no election. All you hear me the pan radio, the chat. Me never get none from them.
So you don't get any dream?
Me not in election. I God me the seek no because guess what? People they say drop dead, so me the repent and go to church back.
They repent. They me not think you did repent long time. Eh?
Me went take over politics and don't have time to say me to read my Bible every morning.
What a shame.
Me try to find something to compare with the counter. Some people they get rent pay. Me living on a piece of work back and can't get water. Me go continue to chat about politics, sister. It's blood and teeth against you.
Lord.
Me can't get water. Whole Christmas upon me pay dinner. Big me when we are 200 and had for the bill upon. Me mad? And me to continue to chat about politics, sister. Nobody with it.
That means
time for everything.
Andrew hole in this corner dark then.
Me not nice, sister. Me not go for me not no politics story with you. Me done with politics right now. Me not talking about politics. Me just suffer lose and nobody not give me nothing at all.
It is finished.
And they chat for radio, they think so what? Me just suffer bad and nobody not help me.
Oh
Things
dear.
Right. People they go collect pay and me not get nothing at all. Not even dollar me not get some yawa.
But you're working?
Me not but no working on.
What kind of work you do?
What's this stuff to stand about with the right now, yeah? About with the right now. Me not that right now. Just people that come by ya, they get their house right there pay, so them people come every day contract. Not me. Me not get dollar. Let me go close somewhere because church and politics don't work. Nobody in a politics needs to go on politics. Let me come outside. It pay me God they show me side. Me not get none from me top. Let me go see God face.
What a way me go. All of the politics will be added on to you.
What is wrong with you, mister?
What a way me step in the ants nest, yeah.
Send them one package, come give me. Never send them nothing, come give me.
Mr. Rattigan, I think we're gonna end the program at this on this note. Kevin, where you there?
Yeah.
You wanna give your friend
phones and she can't fit now. The traffic update now. Not bad for me. She must be mad. Yes, exactly what I said. A prosperity. This is a prosperity.
Of course, it's the prosperity. This is what the bargain for. This is the prosperity that they need. This is what the prosperity that they need. They wanted the prosperity, so they got the prosperity.
The question is, what are we doing to hold government accountable?
We're not doing one thing for government accountable. Not one single thing. The number to call is 954-529-8030. Let me honestly, I feel like he's in trouble tonight, but I'm gonna behave myself.
Nobody not call them, man.
No, nobody not call me. Say, me come over the phone now.
Oh, by the way, let me just tell the people themselves. Tomorrow night, check out Mystic Sensation on YouTube. Wednesday night, check out Come Reason with Ratigan on YouTube. And then this Saturday, we have a special Reason with Ratigan. Very, very special. We're trying to get a very, very special guest. We're going to talk about the Constitution again. Actually, not so much the Constitution. We're planning to talk about corruption and what we can do about it. And we're going to have a...
Good night. Welcome to the Mekutar program. You're live, New York. Go ahead.
Can I talk, sir?
Yes, go ahead, New York. Go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, Jeffrey. I was touching the point that the commissioner make a fool of himself the other day when he declared that he's paying he's using the $4 million budget or millions of dollars of budget to train his men how to shoot. What about the investigative arm of the police force? Why is it not funded? You know?
In training to shoot there, so too.
Yeah, you know, the amount of misappropriation of funds by the bigger echelons of society. Why are they not being investigated expeditiously?
That would never happen, sir.
Jeffrey, you know, I don't understand the system, you know. And why is the opposition spokesman and security and justice so quiet?
Because they only comment on what they want to comment on, sir.
So you remember you keep pointing out why Jamaicans are not active in demanding change for the betterment of the society because they don't have any leadership.
No, let me ask you a question, sir. Why can't we lead ourselves? Why we have to depend from 1962 until now?
We have to have a structure and leadership.
From 1962 until now, we have been dependent on leaders to lead us. Why can't we lead ourselves now?
Well, we have to have a structure, structure, Jeffrey. We can't have individuals assume leadership. We have to have a structure. And the two political parties we were depending on to deliver us to prosperity.
Oh, Lord.
You see, Marcus Garvey Party. Lord. Remember, Marcus Garvey Party was the first political party formed in Jamaica. You know? And both parties, the PMP and the GLP, actually didn't facilitate Marcus Garvey growth. You know?
Let me ask you a question, sir. Do you believe that all the parties have been formed in Jamaica? You believe those people who formed these parties mean the Jamaican people any good?
Jeffrey, by the actions you shall know them. By the fruits you shall know them. I observe that to Jeffrey. By their fruits you shall know them. Trust me. I hear talking about the monopoly on electricity supply in Jamaica, JPS. The opposition spokesman and utility actually broke up the monopoly that cable and wireless had when it comes to communication. And you get digital, and you get other entities. Why they didn't do it for the JPS?
I tell you something, you know, sir. The two political parties have been in existence from way before me and you born. All right? If they truly wanted to solve Jamaica's energy problem, they love to borrow money. Why didn't they borrow some money from the Chinese and build a solar power plant? There's so many lands on Jamaica House. The lands of Jamaica House have a vast amount of lands that's been wasted. Put some of the power plant, put some of the solar system on there so too. They don't do that.
They have no vision for the prosperity.
They have no plans to solve Jamaica's energy problem, sir.
Yo, you think they lack vision, Jeffrey? Are they just selfishly there to enrich themselves?
Well, if they say something, they don't vex with me. Enrich themselves. It's the same way. They have no plans at all, sir. to help Jamaica's mental issue problem that we face in this country. You see, if I have my ways, my way, I'd pick up every single mad person on the streets of Negril Point to Moran Point in a sound JUTC bus and dump them on the lawns of King's House and Jamaica House.
But if a man have mental issues, Jeffrey, he need help, you know. Need help.
What have they done to assist the people, sir?
Well, to be frank, you know, Jeffrey, the policy put a lot of people in poverty and destroy the mental health. Trust me. The policy. Because look at our national debt and the state of our economy and the social fabric of our society. I see Miss Gail got her throat cut the other day, and the bourgeoisie come out and they express sympathy to how this criminal destroyed this beautiful lady. But what about the 5 homeless people whose throat were cut on the compound adjacent to station? And the police detained that political activist, didn't name him, and then let him back out to the public. That's how the political machine works in Jamaica. The objective is to always intimidate civil society and coerce common criminal to contain poor communities. You call these common criminals dons and era leaders and all that. And when they fall out with the political directorate, they paid militia on them and just kill them, just like that. That's how these colonial administrators actually, those colonial administrators who assume leadership in Jamaica, that's how they deal with our people. Just imagine that. We get emancipation 1838. 1838 from 2025. And you can know, it's just a little over 100 years we come off of the plantation. And these colonial administrators.
Which plantation you come off of?
Jeffrey.
Look here, man. When I come from a plantation, this fake emancipation they keep on having is a fake.
Jeffrey. I tell you, you're right in a whole percent still, Jeffrey.
Come on,
you're right.
plantation.
You know? Because
if we had come off of the plantation, sir, we sit down in this country and allow a wannabe dictator right there in Jamaica. 28 bank account, $3 trillion accounted before. What are we doing? Listen to me.
And to add insult to injury, the man who has been supervising our slavery from 1838, from 1685 to 1838, is still our head of state. However, Governor General with so much power.
There is nothing wrong with King Charles. Because if they get away King Charles, Jamaica no still have a Bucky Master. Have a good night. Have a next car coming in.
Okay.
Good night, Miss P. Welcome to the program. Miss P.
Good night.
Good night. Well, go on, me not here for you. You all right? It look like your friend Bill Silicon Valley, man.
No, man. Me and that cloud, man. This sinus mash me, grind me up, me a galan.
Your sinus do what?
However, mash me up and grind me up, man.
Grind you up?
Jeffrey yourself. Jeffrey,
I didn't say a word in English. I want to ask a question.
All right. Listen to me now. Me come on late. Now, when me take a tablet, they make me sleep. Me dey pass on sick leave. Me take a tablet, they make me sleep. So, you have a main tablet, a main topic.
Our friend Ambassador Samba was on.
Oh, me sir. However, current affair. Me I call for the Jamaican people, my sister and my brother. Just think, look. Like when we used to cross railway, stop, look, and listen. Now, young people, we kind of see with them because we the young too and not have much knowledge. But we the mature people who live here some ages and know, because age come with experience. Now, clearly we can see say, this administration, from the top to the bottom, have no interest in the people. This lady they have in a parliament say in name Lawnmore or Longmore.
But almighty God.
He a Lawnmore or what? He may not even good Lawnmore, because Lawnmore cut.
Hold on, let me speak. Her name is Senator Sophia Longmore, but Lawnmore.
Whether a Lawnmore, not even good Lawnmore that, because Lawnmore cut upon a level. No. What's happening in the country? You say, what? Must say psychiatrist or whatever. But it come like she need to see a good psychiatrist. Or psychiatrist or whether mental doctor. Yeah, psychiatrist or whatever. Because you say a senator and you come and present to us. Tell me what's happening. And try to debate if you get it corrected. Instead of you come and tell people about black man, white man, and chain and all type of foolishness. Think about
when I heard her with it, I immediately WhatsApp Senator Crawford and Gabriella. And I said, this is not called for. This is distasteful.
And the worst thing is, Jeffrey, Gabriella come in, the little wassy we have, a future prime minister somewhere down the line. Whap him.
Yeah, man.
Gabriella give him a whopping.
The most diplomatical way.
That little 23-year-old baby. We said the baby whap the mama. And when you look, he married to a white man. And when you look, Jamaican people, retired nurses and teachers and all sectors of the civil servant cannot get them pension money. My God, they serve this country 30 and 40 and years, and now they are going to their twilight, and 2 years them not get $1 from their pension. Those are the things you talk about,
and yet $3 trillion gone down the drain.
Thank you. And remember now, it's not like them pay you and you pay the tax if you wish. It's mandatory then take out the tax before you will work the money, get the money. So these are the things what we should talk about what happened to the country with the people them. Look how much money gone. No road, no water. Me see them a patch road at Jeffrey. Cockabrook water. Them patch piece half mile long there so. Then grow on the part one the half mile. Me say Jamaican.
And that they cost couple of billion well, man.
And me don't know about Jamaican. I have to give kudos to those in the diaspora. Because who don't live here, but who know all of this.
Your friend is on, Your friend is on with me,
Oh, Mr. Ratty?
Yeah, man, you never know.
Yeah, man, I see him.
They're going like him a young boy.
Man, of course, he's a sweet 16. I say, man, look good.
Hi.
Anyway, what we are talking about, you know, Lawnmore companies attack this foolishness and people are suffer. What $15,000 can buy in a time like now? Miss Lawnmore, go get your blade them. Because your lawnmower now cut even. So you need a mechanic. And you thinking you need a doctor. A good. There one man name. What name again? One nice name. In deal with mental issue there. I him you forgot deal with.
You mean Dr. Lai?
No, one black man. Lakin Simaj.
Oh, Dr. Lakin Simaj, yes.
Right. Yeah. Look at Gabriella. Gabriella, baby. and you make the baby beat you left, right, and center. No time done, man. When you look the other day again, Jeffrey, what this one name? Be Charles. Him say Charles Jr. He missing a action. He gone. Nobody now hear nothing from him. Nobody hear nothing from him. Jeffrey, you know what I say? I mean, baby, independent part program. I mean, move from St. Catherine, come Center, from 21, 15. And then take off a picnic for a part. And I got sentence be 5 to 7 times. And until this blessed
They
moment.
not take him out of the part program. They only tell us so.
Then take him out.
No, hold on, no, Miss P. Hold on. They don't take him out of the part program, no. They only tell you that somebody within the ministry they collect the money.
Simple.
And I've been saying this. I have been saying this for many years. That until they investigate the Ministry of Labor and Social Security in Jamaica, things not gonna come better because some hanky panky they go on in there from Wappy Kill Philip.
Man, Mr. Prime Minister, make I tell you something. I grew up going to the Seventh-day Adventist church. I mean, I forgot church every day, all the people. Yes, every day I got a school and a school at church. And the good thing make me love go to church, because I mean, I pick me. I bake food them. And I'm from everybody. Because I pick me. I love Benjamin. But
you could have joined somebody else too, you know.
The Seventh-day Adventists teach we principle. Eh?
You could have joined somebody else with the eating too, you know.
No, I know so me a pick the
No,
time.
hold on, no, man. Hold on, no, Miss P. You and I have a good friend who loves to eat a lot, you know. All 12 o'clock at night time. Hold on, all 12 o'clock at night time, they eat all steak and lobster.
Oh, you mean the rebel?
I never call listen to me, don't get me in no trouble. I never call nobody name.
But the rebel work right round. So I'm have to eat. Look how I look good. Look how man sexy and look good.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Right, the man of eat we look good. And the on top of things and eat good that he can teach we. I will professor, you know.
Me know.
I will professor coming. That's the professor. The knowledge where the rebels give we can't pay for. We couldn't pay for. Even me and my picnic. We Jamaican people get knowledge we can't pay for it. Right? So I'm back to Professor Big Nose now. Me I watch one kid because to me see Big Nose. The Dr. Big Nose. Me see him run one table with a Trump. But true, me I tell you true, me sick. So me I taking medication.
Hold on, no. Hold on, Miss P.
If it live or for AI, me I see.
Miss P. Who named Professor Big Nose?
No, they are right honorable Prime Minister of Jamaica, Professor Big Nose. Me see him round the, me see him round the table. But me I wonder if me I see well.
Oh, I want video that, man. I want video that.
Okay, all video. But at least him still in a look good, brother. I know where I come with.
Let me say no look good.
Him never look comfortable. You know, when somebody not comfortable, learn from Rattigan. Rattigan tell we say, you don't have to see a person with the thing for know say do it in body language. Bobby Fins him see me time teach me. When you look at eye, look straight at eye. You don't have nothing to worry about. You just relax. But when you have something to worry about, watch the eye contact. Right? Our country is in dire need of dire help. And when them are going to say the opposition this and the opposition that, let me tell you something. PMPs around, the PMP parties are around for a long time.
Yes, the oldest political party.
The oldest political party. Well, listen me now. In my opinion, You have different prime ministers, different man or different person with different opinion. Mark Jefferson Golding served in the PMP as a Minister of Justice with a clean slate and a lot of things that Mark Golding put in the parliament, then throw it under the bus. So I'm asking the Jamaican people, Mark Golding is a banker. Mark Golding is a man who know if he work, he's a liar.
And in her 28 bank account.
And he still have 28 account. Give Mark Golding a chance. If you have fault with PJ, you have that. You can't take PJ fat and fry Mark Golding. You can't take Mama P fat and fry Mark Golding. You can't take what body fat. Give the man the mandate and make me see what I'm going to do. Because if he not do what I'm going to do, we are going to haul him down. That is it. I'm going to tell you something. The next thing we know. Mark Golding and I type if you can chat. Empty barrel make the most nice. You look for Rattigan. Rattigan not chat too much, you know.
So hold on, wait, that's Rattigan empty barrel?
No, Rattigan not chat too much. Effective. When Rattigan put out something, he nail gone straight to the board.
True.
Who that just like Mark Golding? Right, Mark Golding they come out like a big nose, Professor Big Nose. And when we say this, and nothing back eye. When we gotta get watching riots at Three Sister Market, and we gotta make STEM school, and you can't tell me that the government is not working. Your government will be working, and I will make Clarkstown become a Silicon Valley. your prime minister, Mark Golding never told her that. Mark Golding said to you.
He knows about the Jeep and fly one plane.
I talk too much. Sometimes he put all in one mouth. Every time you mouth, he put his foot in my mouth. And the next thing, Jeffrey, what may I say? I never go to college. I never go to college. Me go a grade 6 in a school. Me not can tell nobody. Grade 6. And I never take an exam. Right?
Oh, Jesus.
If we are Mr. Unfortunate, me never take an exam. Because I never have a H paper. Because of my life story. Teacher left school. I come on my yard. Go ask for me. Yeah, but I will
No, Miss B. Where said the man don't do? Well, you know the man in break ground to make Silicon Valley.
Yes, I'm gonna make Silicon Valley a Clarkstown when on the road. Not no water, but you gonna make Silicon Valley. The next thing, Jeffrey, the next thing, what we want to know. Ratty always say it must be a critical thinker. The National Prayer Breakfast. This somebody who take out the scripture and give the Prime Minister for read. That's somebody they wicked bad enough. Me said the scripture where the man take out. There's somebody there. That's somebody wicked. That's somebody wicked. I wonder if you never read it before and go say.
I don't think so.
Because one time, Jeffrey, let me give one personal joke at the word. We got church one time, young girl, hot like a fire.
Who you?
And me, hot young girl. And the pastor take out a picture and everything what pastor said, I'm in fit. I can't forget it.
Hold on there now. Hold on there. Hold on there. Where you trying to tell me so now?
Yeah.
The somebody who with the Prime Minister scripture for read. He read it himself.
You look so. What a wicked man. A woman, whosoever them be. Because everything when the man talk away and do. Eh? I mean, I said to myself, say, no, sir. If me no go a university, and me no think high school, and me, if I me not that, then you give me that to read. Me I go ask you, say, you mad? And me say, me I go cuss. Me not read that. I swear I not read it. I have put the icing upon the cake now. Mark Golding just go up there with the humble, respectable, integrity self and read macho.
Blessed are the poor in spirit.
Yes. And then, talking truth.
I was saying, honestly, Miss P, you see me laugh because you know why I'm laughing? It's a very, what you said is true, you know. Whosoever give the prime minister that scripture to read, they give him a right scripture to read. Because everything you read in that scripture is about him.
Mighty God. Man, he just blew him up. And the next thing, we want to ask a question. If you call upon me and say, if you pray.
Hold on. Ratty leave.
Yes, Miss P, you are. I always like when you make your commentaries because even though sometimes them them funny, but them funny in a serious way. I hit that.
Ratty, you not talk about you not hear.
So what?
Talk about you not hearing you.
No man, and your thing now working up from night. Your thing now work. What? Miss P, you can't hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Yeah, man. No, I say not for leave, but I just want to tell you thanks, for the commentaries where you make because although them sound funny, but them funny in a serious way because you really talk up the things, and sometimes you have to make light tight because if you really sit down and think about this thing as seriously and take it too seriously, you could have some serious problems like how some of them politicians they have problems, but the problems them just starting a new year. And this year we have to intensify the efforts to really bring some of them to justice and then start worry already because we have some information and we are working on information thing still. And when it ready, we are going to just release it to the public. But it's not ready right now. And so everybody in the chat, we just want to tell them say thanks, big up on yourself, and to Mr. Vumvavi. Thanks for having me, my brethren. And we talk soon. We have to skip right now.
Yeah, but and we have to drive the Jeep and signal plane and get the helicopter gunship, and do some more deep dive.
You see, easy, easy. Late everybody.
All right, Mr. Ratty.
All right, cool.
Big up yourself.
Yes.
And all the best and continue your professor. And you make with life much easier. So imagine if I hear a prime minister, sir. You make us now with bed, we can't sleep. You give you hope. You give us hope. Blessing. And to you and your family. God bless you.
Hold on, Ratty. Miss P did ask if a food didn't go look. No, Miss P says so I don't miss it up.
There's somebody putting in the chat Ratty and food and put chicken leg and my God. Later, Jeffrey.
All right, cool. Miss P, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. So, but where I say no, me want to know if you call me and say, me call you and say, let's pray. If me have to write it on paper, not even pray the prime minister can pray. Every time I read a prayer, up on paper.
Then some of the pastors they have to read off a paper for the sermon and pray to
No, tell me now. Nothing if you say, our Father which art in heaven, we give you thanks this day, a new day that we have. You can't say, not about God, you don't know. I call upon the Seventh-day Church. Then people abandon him.
Why is they abandon him?
Yeah, man. In my disgrace to Adventists. Adventists, I want 3 church, Adventist are one sweet church. Regardless, you know, in every institution, people have the little thing. But when it comes to integrity, morality, discipline, respect, Adventists teach you that. Adventists even teach you of it. That one thing, what the Adventists what me not like pork part, because I love pork bad. But away from that, me love Adventists because they teach you principle, not only about the Bible, but how to live among your fellow men. That is it. They teach you how to eat, how to dress, how to carry yourself. That has that Adventist me know. How to communicate, show love, help, give a helping hand to those who in need. Eh? And you say Adventist and so this is wicked, sir. Brother, and then the worst thing what me I say. Why this Prime Minister surround himself with too much criminal and people have questionable character? Me I see for one video where he put up one man named Carr and it's alleged say me they have prison for thieves. We call it credit union money. So if you have put up man we got prison for thief money, why wouldn't you jump on Isaac back? Isaac was a baby with a little mix up one. Eh? What wrong? We don't know. Jamaican people give 2 mandate as start to the last one at different easy. Because you call election in a pandemic when people didn't go. And you get it. You know, should have fixed Mr. Andrew all this, man. Come on, Prime Minister, man. It's too late now. Too late is your call. We're tired of you. We're tired. We work, and when we get paid, we heartstring short, we bets. Because we can't go to the supermarket. We can't pay JPS bill. Help Jamaica in a crisis. A few people who is connected to you in some way, shape, or form. Those are the ones who are not crying. But the majority of people, honest, hard-working people, are crying. That is the reason why crime go up, poverty breed crime. And see them said them are going to ban TikTok. God help us at Jamaica.
Well, I think the new administration that came in, I think they unbanned it or something of the sort.
Well, I not glad, regardless them have the little foolishness over there, and this and that and that. It's still a keep the younger mind them because they know so they can make $150, $100 so. Right? The amount of drugs we are coming out with country. And to you, Mr. When you call him Mr. Honorable Dr. Kevin Blake. Make I tell you something. You're a young man. I mean, not think nobody will not go on your head for commissioner of police. Every police officer who serve, our greatest respect is to them. Because when we are asleep, them out their work. But sir, you know that you have some of them in the way are criminal, doing unfair things to the Jamaican people. Sir, do you have kids? Do you have nephews? Do you have nieces? Do you have cousins? Do you have good classmate friends who have their children? Sir, I don't, if a man rising gun after police, he may go get dead. But in most of these cases that we are seeing, it's a total different thing. It's a total different thing. You need to fix it, sir. Sir, put yourself in a people's shoes. You send your son out or your son in bed asleep. Your brother in bed asleep and police kick off the door and shoot him. Look, man, Sterling. Sir, you need, and then you come out with your heart attacks and you're a trained man. and how much money you spend. Me don't know say your government. It things wanna talk, it a sink, you know. Because you are gonna say you train your man them. What kind of talk that, brother? You not train no man. You happen that's how you become the head of the police. And the government taxpayer money train them. And me expect you to say who are clean, you straighten them up. And you call Spanish society and everybody and say, I need help, this is what I'm fix the thing. You can't make when people say police, they're afraid of police. And also things said, you must make when you see a police and you want a direction, you're glad to go to the police. When I was much younger and I went to Kingston, and if I go one place where me don't know the number bus, you know who me look for? One policeman or woman. I said, good afternoon, good morning. We come from such a place, and I want to go to such a place. Could you tell me which bus we take? And if we reach half a tree, I want to go on that. I want pass street when they say, come off half a tree and go on this. A police will look for vehicle and say, which street and that the street they can me a go. A yikes clinic and me a go at the place. Brother, people afraid of police now. If a police even see and a call if it make much of you. You know why I hear my lesson somebody who you know.
True.
Sir, it can't act like this. It cannot go so. It not look good, it not sound good, not about it not good. Right? And umbrella of churches, I see a picture put up with a pastor and our two pastors get married. And Andrew Wallace did they take picture. But let me tell you something. People not fool. If you sit down to panic a committee, but you're not going to change, reform and change this. And the Prime Minister that a fear wedding, that will show us very close. And when you take the church and I deceive people, it not look good.
No.
Not about in the right. Church must be church. Church must be church. And the Bible says, woe be unto you that lead my children astray. Uno get so corrupt and uno for one. Why this country going down? Because what I want to get buy out. The church used to stand up for justice and righteousness. Now the church is in crisis. The church mix up. Right? And everything that the PNP do, all PNP, yeah, don't go into trouble. Now people have them organization, them have a right how to run it. Talk about taxpayers' money we gone and nothing that we talk about. That's
So
what
true.
we talk about.
So
Right?
true,
If PNP want slap back dogs for monkey left that, I feed them internal affair. If you want to pay 15 million to man and no water, me not saying go so. That's not taxpayer money. Taxpayer money are our money. That is what you to look about. The Prime Minister changed Marshall Smith and put in one next man and cost the country $30 million for run a by-election. That's how we know if we talk about it. Right?
$30 million.
Eh?
I said $30 million.
Yeah. Miss Dalrymple have case a court and grown and came back. That's what we talk about.
Miss B?
Yes,
we could stay all night and talk about them.
Yeah.
Until our people get up and stand up and speak out. I don't know when this
Jeffrey, I know get up now and get up and come out, you know. But me tell you something. You touch a good point. And use a critical thinker. You know, believe some most of them mysterious death. Some type of people are quote and so. Something not right. Something just not right. Jeffrey, something not right. Something not right. Something definitely not right, Jeffrey. Barbara Gale, and the list goes on and on and on. Which party that gonna stop? It's something not right. Look from Barbara Gale. Barbara Gale could have do. That's somebody go kill him. Now probably through the woman must have some journalist and he might go dig up some file and better know why expose. But them now watch movie, you know. The more you kill innocent people, the more you want blood. The more you thirsty to kill. I don't know if you stop it. That's why the people, man, the police force is against the Jamaican people. The media, Jeffrey. The media is against we, the Jamaican people. The media houses them is against us.
My God.
And back in the days, Jeffrey, the media house used to call a spade a spade.
Not anymore.
Without fear or favor. A Marty Perkins used to lick left, right, and center. Barbara Glued and then people used to lick left, right, and center when somebody call in for their show and say, you know, from last month I don't get my pension and whatever. Miss Guru, I'm taking my phone same time. I am Barbara Glued and calling it from the hotline. And this is the case, so and get right to it. Those things finish away with.
And tell you something, you know, Miss P. You see, when the Make We Talk program will do their due diligence and call government entities in Jamaica pertaining to certain things. When I hear that they're calling from, I'm calling from wherever, you know, and they hear it's me, you know. And so 1 month, Mr. Tavares, and they never come back.
Yeah, man. Simple.
They never come
Right,
back.
that's what I'm wicked here. Just like out here.
Anyway.
If you as a citizen call them to tell you, call back tomorrow, he's not in office, and that's what them are going in the corner.
Anyway, Miss B, thanks for calling in.
Yes. Yeah, man. Big up your wife there, because me always say, every great man is a great woman.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Big up yourself and big up Mrs. Tavares, and may God continue to bless and keep you. Right?
Yes.
That's what can come you in the knowledge.
Yes, man. Same to you, Miss P. Thanks very much for coming on.
Yeah, man. Although me come late, me go watch back the replay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, thanks much. This is where we're going to say so long for tonight. We want to say thanks to all our viewers on TikTok. The Make We Talk program is now on TikTok. Thanks to all our viewers on TikTok. Yeah, we want to say thanks to all our viewers on TikTok. Thank you all for coming on. Thank you all for sharing the live feed. Thank you all for touching the screen. Thank you all very much for being a part of the Make We Talk program. I want to say thanks to former Jamaican Ambassador Aloun Ndombet-Assamba for coming on. She's the former Jamaican Ambassador, High Commissioner to London, and Ambassador to 7 European countries. Former Minister of Tourism. She's an attorney at law by profession. Thank her very much for coming on. Thanks to everyone who made this program possible. Thanks to Mr. Wilfred Radigan for coming on. Remember to join Will on Wednesday for his Wednesday night program and on Saturday nights. Until you hear my voice again, may God bless you. And may God continue to bless our island home, Jamaica land we love. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe to the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. Have a great night, everyone.
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend.
Remind him, Papa Dad. Dubplate. Get rid of this evil Prime Minister.
That jaded mean you must dip in it. But I say to Andrew Holdings, you better understand that puts a run wild in a jaded.
I got arrested a few times. During the 60s, I went to jail 40 times. Since I've been in Congress, I've been arrested another 5 times. And I'm probably going to get arrested again for something. I'm not suggesting that any of you should go out and get arrested. But when you see something that is not right, not fair, not just, stand up and say something. Do something. I gave a little blood on that bridge in Selma 53 years ago. I almost died. Some of my friends and colleagues were murdered in Mississippi and other places. I'm not asking any of you to give any blood. I'm just asking you to go and vote like you never voted before. We have to vote. The vote is the most powerful nonviolent instrument or tool we have in a democratic society, and we must use it. Use it. Go out and vote. Let's go.
What is the dream for the election that I want to hear from you before me go?
Which election? Sister, me not the panic. I time for everything now. Me not the panic. When me get out of election.
Look like.
Sister, me not get no election. All you hear me the pan radio, the chat. Me never get none from them.
So you don't get any dream?
Then me not in election. I God me the seek no because guess what? People they say drop dead, so me they repent and go to church back.
They repent. They me not think you did repent long time. Eh?
Me went take over politics and don't have time to me to read my Bible every morning.
What a shame.
Because me they try to find something to compare the contact.
Oh.
Some people they get rent pay. Me living on a piece of work back and can't get water. Me go continue to chat about politics, sister. It's blood and teeth against you.
Lord.
Me can't get water. Whole Christmas upon me pay dinner. Big me when we have 200 hard for the bill upon. Me mad? And me to continue to chat about politics, sister. No bother with it.
That means
time for everything.
Andrew holding his corner dark then.
Me not nice, sister. Me not go for me not no politics story with you. Me done with politics right now. Me not talking about politics. Me just suffer loose and nobody not give me nothing at all.
It is
finished. And they chat for radio, they think so. Me just suffer bad and nobody not help me.
Oh
Things
dear.
Right. People they go collect pay and me not get nothing at all. Not even $1 me not get some hour.
But you working?
Me only but no working on.
What kind of work you do?
What's this stuff to tell about with the right now, yeah? About with the right now. Me know that right now. Just people that come by ya, they get their house right there pay, so them people come every day contract. Not me. Me not get $1. Let me go close somewhere because church and politics don't work. Nobody in a politics needs to go on politics. Let me come outside. It pay me God, they show me sign. Me not get none from me top. Let me go see God face.
What a way me go. All of the politics will be added on to you.
What is wrong with you, mister?
What a way me step in the ants nest, yeah.
Send them one package, come give me.
Eh?
Never send them nothing, come give me.
What is the dream for the election that I want to hear from you before me go?
Which election? Sister, me not the panic. I time for everything now. Me not the panic. When me get out of election.
Look like.
Sister, me not get get no election. All you hear me the pan radio the chat. Me never get none from them.
So you don't get any dream?
Name in an election, I got me the seek no because guess what? People they say drop dead, so me they repent and go to church back.
They repent. They mean I think they repent long time. Eh?
Me went take over politics and don't have time to say me they read my Bible every morning.
What a shame.
Because me they try to find something to compare the counter.
Oh.
Some people they get rent pay. Me living on a piece of water back and can't get water. Me go continue to chat about politics, sister. It's blood and teeth against you.
Lord.
Me can't get water whole Christmas upon me pay dinner. Big me when we are 200 and had for the bill upon. Me mad? And me to continue to chat about politics, sister. Eh, no bother with it.
That means it.
Time for everything.
Andrew holding this corner dark then.
Me not nice, sister. Me not go for me not no politics story with you. Me done with politics right now. I'm not talking about politics. Me they suffer Lucia, nobody now give me nothing at all.
It is finished.
And they chat for radio, they think so what? Me they suffer bad and nobody now help me.
Oh
Things
dear.
Right. People they go collect pay and me not get nothing at all. Not even dollar me not get. So me what?
But you working?
Me only but working on.
What kind of work you do?
What's the status about with the right now, yeah? About with the right now. Me know that right now. Just people that come by ya, they get their house right there pay, so them people come every day contract. Not me. Me not get dollar. Let me go close somewhere because church and politics don't work. Nobody in a politics needs to go on politics. Me come outside. It pay me God. They show me sign. Me not get none from me top. Let me go see God face.
What a way me go. All of the politics will be added on to you.
What is wrong with you, mister?
What a way me step in the ants nest, yeah.
One package go and give me.
Eh?